watch YouTube with you guys. There's no copyright against that, right?
I don't think so. Not that I know.
I can show YouTube videos as long as I don't take credit for them. Right? Isn't that how it works?
I guess.
Okay.
Alright. I'll start making dinner around 4. I just want to sit in front of that until the break.
That's fair.
Alright. I found the...
Oh, excuse me.
I got the recipe to make it, but it's like I said, I'm trying not to add... Here's the problem with this one book I checked out. It would kind of add a shit ton of sugar for some odd reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to alter it.
Hold on. Let me look this up before I get in trouble. Can I watch YouTube videos with my Twitch audience? Yeah, I'm curious about this. Can I watch YouTube videos with my live stream? Let your viewers play videos in your live stream. Ah, okay. How to stream to YouTube and Twitch? No, I already have restream. That's fine. You can watch movies with viewers on Twitch. Yeah, okay. So, no, we're not going to do that because there's some serious legal shit behind that. But yeah, can you Twitch streams? Can you stream on Twitch and YouTube together? Are you allowed to promote your Twitch on YouTube? Are you allowed to stream on YouTube as a Twitch partner? Yeah, you can simulcast. That's fine. They changed that rule this year because more and more people were doing so for charity events. How much does the average Twitch streamer make a month? I'd say 70. Yeah, that was right. I was about to say 70,000, but yeah, 76,000. That sounds about right. Can you play YouTube on videos? You can't play TV shows or movies. Oh, okay. Are they your videos? Have you been given permission to broadcast? If not, no. If you're allowed to show YouTube videos on stream, but there must be a higher percentage of gaming content than there is non-gaming content. But I'd say keep like 70% and more of a streaming games creative content. Just make sure that they abide by Twitch rules. An example I've seen is a segment of a partner stream. I see bigger streams get sent links and they play a quick video. As long as it doesn't break Twitch, TOS, then I don't see why not. Playing 1 or 2 videos, that is. As long as you're not sitting there for hours on reacting to YouTube videos. You can watch your videos. All you need to do is find the Twitch channel that hosts the video you want. Huh. Whereas other videos such as YouTube, it's only natural people wonder if they can watch YouTube videos on Twitch. Luckily, you can watch YouTube videos on Twitch. Twitch is a popular streaming platform that allows users to watch and broadcast live streams, usually focusing on gaming content. No shit. It has various other features such as chat, music, video sharing, and more. While Twitch may be known chiefly for its gaming content, it now offers more than just games. Yes, I've been on the platform for 4 years. I know this already. Can I watch YouTube when streaming on Twitch? You can watch YouTube while streaming on Twitch. Remember that playing content from a third-party source like YouTube can cause potential copyright issues. It's best to ensure any videos or audio clips you play during your stream are either copyright-free or have explicit permission from the copyright holder to use their content. Some streamers have gone so far as to create their videos or audio clips to prevent any potential copyright-related issues from arising. It is essential to ensure that you are not playing copyrighted content for too long, as this can result in copyright issues. Can you put YouTube on Twitch? Yes, you can put YouTube on Twitch. However, there are some important things to consider before doing so. First and foremost, it is important to note that while YouTube videos may be allowed on Twitch, they are not officially supported by the platform. It means that if your YouTube video breaks a Twitch rule or guideline, it can lead to a ban, even if it does not violate YouTube's policies. Your content must also adhere to the Twitch community guidelines in terms of service. If you violate these rules, they may only remove your stream with a warning or an explanation. You can watch YouTube videos on Twitch. So all you have to need to do is find the Twitch channel that hosts the video you want to watch and click the play button. Many popular streamers also broadcast their own YouTube videos on their Twitch channel, so you don't have to leave Twitch to watch them. In addition, you can also create your video compilations on Twitch. You upload the videos to your stream and configure the settings, and then viewers can watch them as a playlist. Twitch also offers features that make watching YouTube videos even better. For example, you can set up a poll to ask your viewers what they would like to watch next, or give them the ability to change the order of videos. Types of videos you can watch. Okay. To watch your favorite content creators live in action. You can stream various YouTube videos on Twitch, including gaming, music, and tutorial videos. If the video follows Twitch guidelines, you can stream your favorite YouTube content. There are a few limitations on Twitch. You must have the rights and permission to stream the video, ensure all music is properly licensed. Can I stream free YouTube videos on Twitch? Yeah, no, that's not what I'm worried about. How to stream YouTube movies on Twitch? No. Can I play YouTube music videos? I figure you can play music videos on Twitch. All content play on Twitch is must abide by their terms of service. Gotcha. Twitch gives you can watch music on the platform, but they must be in a stream format and use an approved third-party app or extension. That means viewers cannot control the playback of individual YouTube videos, but can switch between live streams of YouTube comment. With the right setup, watching YouTube videos on Twitch and having a great time with other viewers is possible. Well, shit, there goes the idea. I was going to watch Creepcast with you guys, but I don't think we can, because we'll get in trouble. Huh. That's actually fucking interesting. Also, what in the fuck happened to the title? Why is it Juta watching? Yeah, I'll just change it to just chatting. Just to let everybody know what's been going on. I'm just chatting. There we go. I'll put on my idle game. I'll put on my idle game while I discuss what's been going on. It's been a very interesting day, just to put it very mildly. Okay, minor. Yeah, I love this idle game. Okay, so basically the first things first is streams are not going to be the same for a few days at least. What we thought was like an outdated modem or an outdated router had turned out to be that the wiring that goes into our apartment that connects to the electrical box outside, the tap, as Brittany called it. Not my wife, the person from Charter was also named Brittany. Apparently that was damaged. Like, there were chunks missing from the cord, so she gave us new wiring and everything, but it's still not gonna fix the intermittent stuff, so you'll notice this stream will crash a lot, right? I can have my auto clicker and my thing open at the same time, which sucks. But yeah, essentially what was going on is that cord was completely damaged, so she gave us new wiring and everything, but the problem is now is that the tap itself needs to be adjusted. And this is a problem that's going on throughout our entire building, is that everybody's having internet issues. This is fucking why. The wiring is old, it's messed up, and it needs to be reworked, essentially. So we have maintenance coming out in a few days. So yeah, streams are gone for at least 2 to 3 days, as far as I know. I can try and do some offline streams if you guys want. Like, OBS has an offline recording feature, and I could just upload directly to YouTube that way if you guys would prefer that. Until we can get normal streams up and going again. That way we can still do Crash 4. I have another series in that works for you guys called Threads of Fate, which is a PS1 game I used to love as a kid. It aged pretty damn well, surprisingly. The graphics suck, obviously, because it's like, we're talking Square Enix back when they were known as Square Soft. So, like, I want to say 93, 94 is when it came out. I could look that up, though. And it's just a really cool JRPG where you play as either Mint, an amnesiac who's trying to figure out who the hell he is, and avenge his friend who died. They never actually expressly go into details, but it's implied he has romantic feelings for her, but it was never, like, mutual or anything. Or you can play as a spoiled brat with the ability of these, like, hoops that she has she can shoot energy blasts out of. It's really cool. Oh no, she's Mint, he's Rue. Rue has the ability to kill a creature and be able to transform into it. It can be a boss, it can be a mini-boss, and it can be any sort of monster you find in the game. You can kill it, and you collect these little tokens, these little coins that allow you to transform into the monsters. So that is on the back burner for right now until the internet, shit gets solved. Huge shout out to Brittany for helping us out today. She fixed a lot of shit, and she put in a ticket with Spectrum's maintenance, so we'll hopefully get the shit done by the middle of this week. Because I have a big project I have in store for you guys. 2 of them, actually. I have one involving Humans United. It's the unveiling of a big project I'm currently working on. And the other is for Twitch and YouTube. I'm going to make a very somber announcement, essentially. I'm not leaving. Don't worry. I'm not retiring from streaming, but there's going to be some changes. The streams are, again, strictly going to be 1 to 2 hours for casual streams, and then Spyro is just however long it takes for me to finish the run. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I need to change, including schedule. But that we can just discuss at a later date. There's gonna be more frequent streams. That's for damn sure. That's one of the bigger ones. Is this that no more fucking days and days and days without streams. I actually want to get back into consistency. I've been working. If you guys have noticed, this entire first month of the year, I've been working on being more consistent with uploads, and it's been tricky with how life has been, admittedly. With my aunt dying, my daughter dying last month, going on 2 months ago now. Rest in peace, Suki. It's been a rough fucking year already, but I've been trying to stay more consistent with uploads, get you guys stuff to watch for fun. I did thoroughly enjoy Hat in Time, the first playthrough we did for the year. Crash 4 I fucking hate. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I fucking hate it so far. It's nowhere near as hard as I thought it would be, but I still fucking hate it. Maybe it's just not warmed up on me, or rubbed off on me yet, like the whole craze of Crash Bandicoot, but I just... Compared to Spyro, I don't fucking like it, honestly. I'm glad you guys are liking the series so far, but let's just put it this way. I'm very glad I agreed not to do a 100% run, because if I had to get every single box in every single gym and every single level, I think I'd have a panic attack. Because it's insane, because there's not 228 gems that you need to get in the game. It's actually 556. Or 450, no, what was it? 220, yeah, 456 gems, because you have to do everything. Reverse levels, different filters for each level, get every secret gem, not die a single fucking time, get the platinum relics. It's worse than that. There's another 228 fucking gems, and they're upside down. I don't remember the specifics about it, but yeah, it drove one of my favorite YouTubers fucking insane, but he did do it. Shout out to Cat Icarus. Fucking hell, that man has the patience of a saint. But yeah, it's already been a rough year. My wife and I got some distressing news a few days ago that I will not go into detail about out of respect. But we're essentially just kind of scared at the moment. And pissed, honestly. Because it's one of those things where we knew the day was coming, but we weren't ready for it, no matter what, because you can't really be ready for something like this. And the worst part is, this is completely out of our control. What we are going through currently is 100% based on the fact that we have nothing else we can rely on to consistently get there and back. And it's fucked us over so bad that we're close to losing everything again. This seems to happen once a year where we nearly lose everything we've built, and it's exhausting, honestly. It's a very consistent problem. If it's not her family, it's just... kick this up to 11 kind of thing. It's weird. I hope you I hope you guys have liked the cover I made that I was working on, the most recent one. Leave a Light On. I have a far more respect for Papa Roach than I ever have before. I've never been a big fan of their music, because it cut my life into pieces. I didn't know Last Resort was a suicide. It was about suicide. I didn't know it was about the perspective someone goes through when they're suicidal. I didn't know that's what it was about. I thought it was just like an overly edgy early 2000s song, but no, apparently it's a very significant song. My apologies to the band. But Leave a Light On it struck a chord with me, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean in a very good way. Like it hit him where it hurts, if you will. As a 2-time suicide survivor, it spoke to me. It's like, when I was in that dark place, and you guys remember I made an announcement video taking a hiatus for a month because of everything that was going on back then, but there wasn't that much that I could do to take my mind off of everything or to try and escape from reality for a bit. Even video games were very dull to me at that point, which is why I knew I needed to take a hiatus. It's like I'm very passionate about what I do with the streaming. I'm very passionate about what I do with Humans United, the content I put up for you guys and everything, and I couldn't do that if I just burned myself out on it completely. It's like, there's a lot of talk of this going around, especially on YouTube, of creator burnout. And the long and short of it is the algorithm demands that you constantly have something uploaded. If not every day, it's every single other fucking day. Non-stop, no excuses, every other day. And it's gotten to the point where YouTubers are leaving. If you're wondering one of the big reasons why a lot of content creators are leaving Twitch and YouTube, that's why. Not so much Twitch, because they're surprisingly better off than YouTube. I still stand by that. It's like, it's not just saying that because I worked for Twitch now. But even when I was streaming on YouTube, I was always thinking about switching to Twitch. It's easier to get an audience there. It's easier to get your fucking foot in the door as a content creator. And streams are much more fun to do than just singular fucking videos. Which I still want to learn how to edit so I can kind of work on the quality of that. Cut out stuff I don't want on stream. Like being stuck on the same part for 40 fucking minutes. Wonder what that's from. But yeah, that's why a lot of creators is leaving. It's just, it's 100% burnout. It's the algorithm has fucked them over so badly that if you don't constantly upload every single day or every other day, I think it actually is every day now, you're lost. The algorithm will not recommend your channel. You will not get recognition. You won't be in a search thing. And you won't make a profit. You won't be able to reach your audience and therefore make a profit off of being an entertainer. There are many different decisions that have led to this. The other big reason, by the way, a lot of YouTubers and streamers are leaving is because they're parents. They're focusing on being a family person, right? Family man, family woman, whatever, right? They're focusing on being parents. That's the case with MatPat, who's a huge who's a huge content creator I have loved since I was a teenager. Since Game Theory was one of the first channels I watched. The very first one was Game Grumps. And then I discovered Markiplier a few years later, believe it or not, through Hot Pepper Gaming. I forget what game he was what game he was reviewing, but I remember he had the mohawk at the time, so it was like way early era. But MatPat I found through his Legend of Zelda theories. The biggest one that really stuck with me, because again, I'm a huge psychology buff, was how Link was dead the entire time. His collaboration with Peanut Butter Gamer, who's another OG YouTuber who I've always had a fondness for. And yeah, that's what led me to his channel, and I started to watch all his different theories. There's the one where Princess Peach is possibly Luigi's kid and is also, or no, not Princess Peach. Rosalina is Princess Peach and Luigi's kid, and Peach is dead, which was just interesting, to say the least. And I also, going back to the Legend of Zelda one, I'm pretty sure that one was actually confirmed by Nintendo themselves, that the Stalfos you train with in Twilight Princess is the hero of time if he dies in Majora's Mask or in Ocarina of Time. Because there's some dialogue that the Stalfos says, and this was a big credibility for the theory, is that Stalfos was based on a lost hero who couldn't complete their journey. And if you kind of read between the lines, it kind of sounds like they're saying, oh, so it's a hero who couldn't save the day kind of thing. Which, again, would imply, if it's really Link, yeah, it's also the fact that he's left-handed. He teaches you the abilities, sword techniques that you learn in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. It's a lot of really cool things. Of course, I'm a huge fan of his Five Nights at Freddy's videos, because I hate the gameplay of the games, right? That's why I haven't really streamed the mainline games, and only really streamed Security Breach, because there's, like, more, I don't know, meat to it, I guess would be the term. There's more gameplay to it, there's more to do in it, as opposed to just sitting at a computer, turning on a rotoscope kind of view. But yeah, his FNAF theories are some of my favorites. His very first FNAF video is one of my favorite videos, honestly. And to me, I feel like that's where it was all leading up to after Ultimate Custom Night came out. It was revealed that you were playing as William Afton in Hell, which again makes sense since all the animatronics are there, even ones that were already technically destroyed. Give me one sec. I'm gonna go get my actual mic. Because I bet the audio quality is shit. As for those who keep asking Brett and I to continue Cuphead together, honey, dear, you mind explaining why we're not going to be playing Cuphead for a while?
It's the candy boss. It took us forever to beat her, but goddamn, that was frustrating.
Yeah, no, never again.
We're gonna need more time before we get back into that.
In Space with Markiplier, on the other hand, yeah, I'd be happy to do that again anytime. It's just, I want more interactivity if we're going to do something like that. Because in Space with Markiplier, yes, I'm a huge Markiplier fan, but if we're going to do something like that, I want that to be something we as a community can do together and, like, vote on what endings or what decisions to make. Because it is a multi-choice kind of series. I'm also really excited for his Iron Lung movie, because I love the game, and yes, I do want to stream that for October. But yeah, it's, like I said, it's already been a hell of a year, and it hasn't even fully started. We also had a little update, a little recap on why things were chaotic last week, even before the internet issues. The neighbors upstairs above my sister, who lives next door to us, moved out, and as a result, the water in those pipes was not being used, and unfortunately, the thing about water, it freezes in 0-degree temperature. And when it does that in the pipes, it expands. Essentially, the pipe fucking burst. And as a result, it flooded into the apartment above her, which then flooded to her apartment, which then flooded so bad, it was flooding in our kitchen. No joke, you can ask Brady. We were like, it was like what, like an inch of water in the kitchen, Britt? When it flooded into our kitchen, wasn't it like an inch of water?
I think so. I was at work when it happened.
Oh yeah, I already cleaned it up. But yeah.
It was pretty bad. It was worse over at
Crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, Wednesday stream. I'm hoping this will be done by Wednesday, the internet thing, but Wednesday's stream will probably be moved to a later hour because my sister needs me to help her move stuff so they can finish repairing her damn carpets. They also had no heat last night, so she's understandably passed the fuck out right now. Mom's home and safe. Her fucking CPAP? Is that what the thing is that goes in her nose? Isn't that what it's called? Yeah, the CPAP. I don't remember the actual name of it, sorry. Tried to drown her. Keep in mind, those things are not supposed to produce water. And so, that happened the day before fucking Christmas. That year was really trying to kill Mom for some reason. God damn. Of course, my Aunt Rhea died last week, which is why I kind of stayed to myself for a few days to kind of process. I had a very mixed relationship with her. Back when I was a kid, she was like an angel on earth to me and my brother. Like, we were really close to her. There was some drama with my father and his sister. She's an Olympic athlete. She's a professional snow skier. I think that's the name of the sport. I'm sorry, I'm not really good when it comes to sports. I really just don't give a fuck about sports, to be honest, and honestly think football should be abolished considering the amount of head damage people get from it, but neither here nor there. My grandpa Clark died, my father's father, the one who essentially taught my brother to be an artist. Kinda. It's kind of weird how it happened. It was my brother Patrick, for anyone who's familiar with Packy on Twitch, that's my big brother Patrick. He is my biggest hero, him and my brother Sean, as is my sister Chris. Like, all my older siblings are fucking gods to me, honestly. Not literally, but you know what I mean. I hold them in high regard. Essentially, he saw a ghost, and this is why it sounds crazy, in our apartment one time, because when we used to live with Mom and Dad. And he talked to it, he learned from it, and apparently, like, within a year or so, he had learned how to draw. It's something we've never really been able to explain. It's cool as fuck, but it just a little weird, right? Ooh, excuse me, give me 1 second. Just shagging where I've been. A more accurate title for the stream. Sorry, everyone. I just went, whoops. Did I just quit out of the... Nope, there it is. Okay. But yeah, he's an incredible artist. He tops my shit tenfold, and I do photorealism. At photorealism, it's just a fancy word for saying I can draw something so realistic it looks like a photograph. Like, if I was to look at my wife and just draw her, it would take me a few hours, but I'd be able to make it look exactly like her. With nothing but a pencil and maybe some smudging with like a cloth or something for the shading. It's hard to put into words. So he became a professional artist for that. It was not long after that we discovered through my dad that his dad, who I have very strong mixed feelings about because he wasn't there for my father. He's also an artist. And so when I started to see my dad's artwork around the apartment is when we discovered, hey, this just runs in the family. So that's when I tried my hand at it. I sucked horribly. Don't look at those old sketches. They're on my Discord. There's a few of them that I'm very proud of because I had actually kind of learned proportions and everything, and I knew what I wanted to do with, Fable, the character. Same thing that's described in my glasses. But yeah, I was a rookie starting out. My brother taught me what he could, but then he taught me, it's like, you gotta learn your own style. That's the whole point of art. It is your own perspective, your own view of the world. And so I did. I learned photorealism. I learned a kind of mix of 2D and 3D a little bit. It's really weird. Like, I'll draw 3D environments, right, using my photorealism style, and then I'll use a little bit of, I guess you could say, just 2D animation kind of style, and draw people or, monuments or something on that 3D surface. It's a lot to put into words. But yeah, that my brother found out he was an artist. My brother became an artist, essentially. Anyway, when my grandpa Clark died, my father wasn't even notified. He missed the funeral. He missed everything because his sister just purposely did not tell him. I mean, she is despicable. He found out, very sadly, by finding him in the obituaries. I don't know why he was reading the obituaries that day. He said he got a feeling, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes that happens. My brother Sean got a feeling that something was wrong with me and called me, stopping me from committing suicide. So it does happen. It's weird, but you can sense shit sometimes. And I just remember he was devastated. Like, he looked to his father, who was very absent in his life. He looked to him like a hero. He looked to him like a god. But it's like, my mom very harshly reminded him that he really wasn't fucking there. And she also wasn't too supportive of my father when his dad died. They have a very interesting marriage. I've mentioned on stream before that my dad used to be a full-blown fucking monster. Mom's not much better towards him at times. It's fucking weird. Britt and I have very very strong feelings on their marriage, honestly. But that was due to him missing everything, his side of the family. So, like, my Aunt Rhea, which is why I'm bringing all this up, all thought he just didn't give a shit, and then he just abandoned the family and just didn't come to see his father's funeral. The reason why Sandy did this, my dad's sister, she wanted their father's inheritance. My grandfather was a very, very, very successful artist. If I could find his fucking... I think his name is Clark Harding. I don't remember what his actual last name is, because that's what I go by. It's my last name. And I just don't remember why he was so famous. But yeah, anyway. As a result, Dad's entire side of the family hates him and us. Unfortunately, my Aunt Rhea, who normally was, like, again, an angel on earth to us, didn't even vouch for us. She didn't even defend us. She didn't even help us. She didn't even do anything. And so when she passed, I had very conflicting feelings of, this woman who I used to idolize and used to look up to and used to see as another mother to me, kind of. But she kind of stabbed us in the back, is the only way to really perceive that. So yeah, it was tragic that I lost her. It was very sad, but it honestly did not hit me as hard as Suki. I mean, obviously, may Aunt Rhea rest in peace. How she went out was even weirder. Content warning. It's really fucking graphic, really fucking weird. When the doctors took her, when she was admitted to the hospital by her husband Jerry, they found that her intestines were gone. And I don't mean like someone surgically removed them. There was no wounds. They were just fucking gone. Ignore Brittany chuckling. She's watching Markiplier, Super Mario Maker. You were watching it at the worst possible moment, by the way.
What?
I'm talking about Aunt Rhea, and you're giggling like a maniac.
No, I'm sorry. I'm watching. I have the headphones on. I'm sorry.
Which one is that?
Mario Maker, Super Mario Maker 2 Part 5, the expert level.
Oh God. My favorite moment from the Markiplier Mario Maker series franchise, whatever the fuck, was Markiplier.exe has stopped working. It was the fake blue screen of death. It's just that Markiplier.exe has stopped working a little bit. But yeah, we still don't know what caused it. There's theories going around that maybe it was the medication she was taking, or maybe it was a side effect of not taking it. Sorry, apparently this is making my mouth water. But yeah, that was the main thing that hit me. It's just like, yes, it was sad I lost her again. Very tragic, but how the fuck does someone's intestines just go poof like that? Medically speaking, scientifically speaking, that should not be fucking possible. That should be, I don't know. But yeah, that was the big thing. As for why I took a few days to myself after that, it was just, I was still processing my daughter's death, and then that happened literally days into me finally coming to the realization. It's like, oh, you're not, she's gone. I go into it a lot on stream from time to time, but I'm not good when it comes to death. And I don't think there's anyone on this planet who is as bad at handling grief as I am. Which is why I've learned how to do so constructively. I vent my emotions into building or drawing or writing. But ever since I lost 15 people in 1 year, a few years back, including Lamont, who I consider to be like a sibling to me, like an elder sibling to me, and who meant the world to me. I wasn't. It sounds weird, and it sounds like, oh, I'm edgy. No, I dead serious when I say this. When that happened, I wasn't able to cry for a full year. I couldn't express those emotions. I couldn't let them out because it was just so much trauma and tragedy back to back to back that my body just didn't know how to react to it. And I felt like a monster, like I should be crying, right? I should be miserable, right? Why don't I feel anything? And then later that year, I went to my dad's great aunt Barbara's funeral. May she rest in peace. Very good Christian woman. My views of Christianity have changed drastically over the years. I'll go into that in a minute because it's an interesting discussion. And that was when I was finally able to let it all out. And since then, I've been able to mourn and everything, but I still psychologically need closure. I was at Lamont's funeral, right? I gave a speech for him. We were family. We were more than family, actually. I held his urn and told him goodbye. I got closure with him. So thankfully I moved on from that partially, but like with Suki, with my best friend Tarion and everything, with
Brooklyn made a
financially
about
successful.
it.
There we go.
One of the last good videos, by the way. I officially unsub to them.
I did warn you guys the stream was gonna crash a couple times. It's like I said, the internet is still not fucking fixed.
Not fully.
But I'm just giving you guys like a few hour stream just to talk with you guys, catch up, relay some information of what's been going on, and just kind of touch bases essentially on what the fuck has happened. But yeah, ever since Ray and Barbara's funeral, I was able to show emotion again. But then, when Sookie died, I didn't even cry at first. More than anything, and this is what surprised me, because this is never my reaction to grief, I was furious. And it's hard to put into words, but essentially, it felt like I knew it was coming. I knew how to prevent it, and I knew it was coming, and yet there was not a fucking damn thing I could do physically. Like, there wasn't a way for me to get over to my parents' place to say goodbye to my daughter or be there for her in her last moments. And then I was seeing fucking red, and I finally realized what it was. Because I remembered why. I remembered why I'm stuck here 24/7. I remember why we have no vehicle, and I remember why I haven't felt safe in my own home since we moved here. And it all circles back to my mother-in-law. For those who are new to the channel, essentially, my wife's mother is probably literally the devil. And I don't mean that as in, oh, she's a bad person. No, I mean, she's a legitimate fucking monster. She stalked us for the better half, for the worst half, I should say, of like 2 years. She blackmailed us. She basically treated Brittany like a slave and like a fucking human punching bag. And when I stood up for Brittany and was like, hey, you can't fucking do that, your kid or not, you still have to treat her like a human being, her mom tried to kill me on several occasions. Like, I'm not kidding when I say this woman is the reason why I have trust issues. And yeah, it just hit me out of nowhere that, yeah, that's why I was so pissed off, is because I realized this is another thing I missed, another thing I lost because of Brittany's mother. So for the first time in a long time, or the first time ever, I should say, it wasn't pain that I felt immediately, it was rage. I mean, I fucking screamed. I was seeing red. I was not a pleasant person to be around for a few minutes. And I found out about Sookie because my mom had video chatted with me. She had called me and was like, blowing up my phone about something. It's like, we knew, because we knew before the wedding, before Sean's wedding, essentially that Sookie wasn't doing well. Brittany, take that in the other room, please. It just feels weird to have her giggling in the background while having a serious fucking discussion. Anyway, we knew long before the day that it actually happened that Sookie wasn't going to make it. I spent the night at my parents' because we were doing the tux fitting the next day. And that morning, Sookie came up to me. She was very weak. She was happy to see me. She was purring, but it was very weak. And I just knew that I was losing my baby girl. I knew she was dying soon. I had no idea that it was going to be the very last day I would see her. I thought I would at least get to see her the day she was passing and say goodbye, but no. I had no idea, other than a slight feeling that I had, that the day I held her and was just petting her and everything, that would be the last day I would be able to see her. But like I said, we knew before the wedding, we knew that she wasn't doing well. I just didn't realize it was that bad. As for how she died, by the way, I don't think I've ever actually went into that. If you guys remember, my childhood pets died shortly before that. Madison and Trixie. I had known them for better half of 20 fucking years. I grew up with them, literally. So I was like 28 now. Yeah, I would have been 8 when we got them. Madison died. She had an abscessed tooth. She was very sick. She was very old. She's passed away. What surprised us, though, was that she didn't go first. It was Trixie, who was, like, healthy as a horse. She was a very old tiger kitty, very sweet cat. But she was healthy. but yeah, lo and behold, she just got really fucking sick, and then the next day she just dropped fucking dead. My dad found her dead, cold as a statue, her mouth wide open, her eyes wide open. Unfortunately, for those who don't know, that's just unfortunately how cats die. Their jaws don't work the same way as humans, so when they die, it's permanently left open in a shocked expression. It's haunting as hell, but that's how it works, sadly. So then, yeah, Trixie died. Madison didn't give a fuck. She liked her sister, but she didn't love her. Like, they were sisters. They didn't really get along. And then I got a text message from mom and dad. I didn't even get a call. I got a message in the family chat that Madison had died. It was like, I think 2 weeks later. They found her, cuddled up in the chair, hidden away, and she was gone. When Trixie died, my best friend Darkness, who you guys know, or Jay, I'm going to call him Jay because I don't know if he wants his real name said on stream, but who you guys know as Darkness, came over in person. He came from out of state to visit Britt and I. That's when he got me this mic. That's how long ago Trixie had died. He took us over to my parents' place because my dad was going to do something unforgivable. He was just going to take her and bolt to Illinois to bury her with our pets from the past. In the family, my mom's ex-husband owns like 8 acres of land, essentially. And so on a little bit of that land, we bury our pets so they can be together forever. It's a pagan thing. It's wholesome as hell, and you know the specifics of it. It essentially allows their spirits to roam together. I think it's absolutely beautiful. But the fucked up thing is when my dad said that, I told him flat out, if you didn't let me say goodbye, I would not fucking forgive you. I knew her for 20 fucking years. I knew her more than I've known most of my still living friends and family. Crystal even vouched for us because we were at IKEA. We were at IKEA shopping and everything with Britt. And that's when Brittany checked her phone, and we got a message in the family chat saying that Trixie had died. It was literally minutes after that we bolted in Darkness's car over to my parents' place because they didn't live too far from that location. And just for transparency, I grew up in the Del Mar Loop, so yes, I'm very familiar with St. Louis and all the hotspots and everything. It's a beautiful city in certain areas, and unfortunately, it gets a lot of bad rep though. Some of it justified. There's a lot of crime, but others, it's just people just deciding to generalize an entire state instead of actually visiting the damn city. I digress. We went over. We were pretty much rushed out the fucking door. I saw her for like a second, and my heart fucking sank. And at first, I couldn't cry. At first, I couldn't even fucking cry. And then when I lifted the blanket, to see her face, to be able to pet her one last time, I just started bawling my eyes out. My dad wouldn't even let me wipe my tears before he's like, you guys gotta go, we gotta go bury her. So we didn't even really get any closure with that. And then Madison died, I want to say, a week before Suki got sick, bro? Yeah, about a week before, so possibly September. Because Madison died in October. Madison got sick in September. She was fighting a tooth abscess. We would have to give her this medicine and stuff. We gave her a micro dose of gabapentin with the vet's approval because it helped numb her of the pain. And she was living her best life essentially. She was sick as hell, but she was still, without pain, happy as hell, super hyper. She was playful like a kitten. And here's the thing about Madison. When she was younger, she was a bitch. She was literally known as Queen Bitch. She owned the apartment. It didn't matter who came in. The only one who put her in her place was Mom, obviously, because, her cat. But Trixie was Dad's. So Madison claimed Mom, and her twin sister, Tiger Tabby's sister, Trixie claimed Dad. I'll be honest, I've never really seen my dad cry very much before, except when my mother was dying in the hospital. Obviously, if it's the love of his life, but there's only 3 occasions I've ever seen him cry. There was Mom in the hospital, Mischief died. That was his original cat. He was a big, black, beautiful British Bombay boy cat named Mischief. He's fucking huge. Very sweet boy. He used to sit with his paws crossed like this. He was really cute. He died from a urinary tract collapse, which is why we keep an eye on the boys, because it's very common in not only male cats, specifically, weirdly enough, black cats and Bombays. It's a very genetic thing, which is fucking weird. I've never heard of that with the urinary thing. But yeah, he died from that. That was one of the only times I saw Dad cry. The other time was when Mom was in the hospital dying from staph infection. The first time, because yeah, last year that's what killed her again. But she came back again because that bitch said no to death, and I don't blame her. Plus, I would never forgive her if she died on me. At least, you know, before she turns like 80 or something, I want her to live a full life. She spent the majority of her life with crippling health issues, and when I was younger, an abusive husband. I want her to live a few, like, I don't know, 5 decades of happiness, you know, before she decides to kick the bucket. But, again, I digress. Neither here nor there. And then the third time was when Trixie died. Because I didn't notice it until I looked up from her, but as he was rushing us, his face was turning bright red and he was trying not to cry. Mom was broken down, like she was miserable. These were her babies, right? Madison and Trixie were like her other kids. And if you're a fur parent, you know what that's like. When you raise a cat for so long, that is your baby. I don't give a shit. It's like, oh, it's not human, it's not your child. No, that's your child. If you are investing time into taking care of this creature, that is your fucking child. But then after Trixie died, everything for that, we were gonna have like a ceremony, which we wouldn't normally do for animals, but we lost a lot of pets and a lot of people last year, almost as much as we did a few years ago with the 15. I will always refer to it as the 15, just as a reminder in my mind. Not to obsess over the tragedy, but more so to remind myself that I got through that year. That I lost so many people that meant the fucking world to me, but that I'm still fucking here. And that I have to stay here in their memory and continue in their memory. It's a huge motivator for me to get out of bed lately. Trixie dead. Fast forward, I want to say like a month and a half, right? Madison died in September, early October, right?
She died back in September.
Yeah.
And then
Sookie died in November. Yeah. Oh, it has been 2 months. 2 months already. Goddamn. To the exact day, it's the 26th. Madison died, as Brittany pointed out, about 3 months ago now. So September. I don't know. I'm not good with numbers. Fuck it. I'm not good with numbers. 4 months ago. September, right?
Well, Maddie. Well, the thing was.
October, November, December. That was 4 months ago.
Trixie died back in April.
Yeah.
Maddie died in August.
April, May, June, July, August. 4 months apart exactly. And then Sookie 4 months after. Well, no. Yeah. September, October, November. Holy fuck. 4 months exactly for all three of them. She technically died on December 1st. She was sick November 31st, and it was December 1st we got the call, right? Brittany had to hold me for like 15 minutes.
Sookie went through apparently a depression.
Her and Madison were extremely close. She saw Madison as her mother. Mischief was her daddy, essentially. You know, obviously cat dad. He like adopted her, he raised her and everything. So when he died, that hit her hard. But I honestly would argue that Madison's death hit her harder, because that's what killed her. Madison died, and Sookie just decided to stop eating. She gave up. She had no strength left. I had no way to go over and see her, to comfort her, to be a father to her. I was stuck here, as usual. Part of the reason I was suicidal last year, by the way, is just I realized that all my friends and family, and now my kid, were all dying, and I was stuck here with no way to say goodbye, no way to go see them in their last moments, no way to do, I don't know, make the passing easier? I don't fucking know. Like, everyone I've known that's died has gone fucking horribly. Lamont was fucking brutally murdered in the black community for being a gay black man. It sounds like I'm being blunt, but that's exactly what it was. He was a flamboyant gay black man who was about, I'd say, what is it? I'm 6'2", right? 6'3", something like that. So yeah, he was like 6'7". He towered over me. He was a big old teddy bear though. We were almost a couple years ago, back during my bi phase. Long story short, we just never made it happen. But yeah, I called him Teddy because he was a big cuddly boy. He was a very sweet man. He was found outside his aunt's house, face down on the freezing ground, dead, with bruises and broken bones. He had been beaten mercilessly. And it was my first experience with, like, I wouldn't say my first experience with homophobia, because my friend who committed suicide years ago, but the reason I created Humans United, also did so in relation to homosexuality. He was bullied to the point he committed suicide. Very tragic. He was 13 years old. Miss you, Bobby. When he passed, it felt different. Like you like when you lose someone, obviously you cry, you feel depressed for a few months. And, you know, depending on how long you knew that, you will mostly be able to continue forward. No, his death stuck with me. Brittany can attest to this. For what, like a year and a half? Something like that? I could not get the idea that he was just gone out of my head. Like, as stupid as this sounds, I could not come to terms with the concept of someone being here one day and then just being completely fucking gone the next. The permanence of death, I guess is what I'm saying, has always been a massive psychological block for me. It's like, I hate to believe that someone I know and that I care so deeply for is just fucking gone the next day. But that's life. That is the brutality of mortality, if you will. But yeah, like I said, I gave a beautiful speech at his funeral. I talked about how him and I used to crush on Castiel from Supernatural. Love that show, by the way. The first 5 seasons. Everything after that, skip it. Eric Kripke only wrote the first 5. He wrote it as a complete and closed story. But everything up until season 15 after that was just fuck. Even the finale of season 15 was fucked up. But yeah, it was a lovely service. Everybody was there. It was very supportive. I wanted to make sure I made a very good point. This is why I quote this to this day. That yeah, he'd be happy to know that we miss him, right? He'd be happy to know that that we're mourning him, but more than anything, he would want us to focus on the memories we had with him that made us happy and made us laugh. And that's just kind of how I approach death now. Aunt Rhea, like, there's tons of memories I have that I could laugh about, honestly. But yeah, back to fast forward. Madison's dead. We were gonna have a ceremony for her after the wedding. Not even like 2 weeks after Sean's wedding, which again, congratulations you two, Sean and Amber. I love you guys very much. Sean, as you guys know, I talk a lot, is my biggest hero. Like, out of all my siblings, he's the one I look up to the most. And there's no specific reason to that. He's just the one I relate to the most. He's the one I most like. Hell, Mom keeps calling us each other all the fucking time. No joke. This is how my mother refers to Sean. Crystal Duncan Sean Michael Goddamn Goldsmith. That's how she refers to Sean. It's fucking hilarious. Mom and my dad's just like, "Sweet honey, get your baby straight." Brittany does the same thing with Jet and Shadow though. Brittany. So Brittany, we're gonna talk about how you looked Shadow dead in the eyes and called him Jet the other day. Brett, are we gonna talk about how the other day you looked Shadow dead in the eyes and called him Jet by accident? She can't give me shit about it anymore. I have a bad habit of mixing the two up because they look very similar. It's just Jet has a very tiny head and Shadow has a very poofy head. He's not fat. He's just got a lot of fur. When we gave him a bath, he turned into like a skeleton. Not literally, obviously, but he's healthy. He's just very poofy. I, on the other hand, need to lose weight. But Madison died. We were going to have a ceremony. we never did get to. We celebrated Thanksgiving after the wedding, because the wedding was October 28th, actually. Yeah, was Sean and Amber's wedding. It was a very beautiful ceremony, surprisingly pagan positive for a Christian church, which was honestly a nice change of pace. Honestly, wedding went well. Then we celebrated Thanksgiving. I did a toast for everyone because I also did a toast at my brother's wedding, and I had this idea for like this really cool toast to commemorate the end of 2023. I basically started by saying, let's mourn the ones we've lost this year. Moment over. Let's celebrate the relationships that are prospering this year. My brother and his wife, me and my wife, and my sister and her girlfriend, which those two are adorable, Brittany. Those two are adorable. Crystal and, yeah. I almost called her Kay. It's like, I only know one person named Kay, literally. And they're like all the way, they're probably down south now if I remember correctly. They got a job down there. Thanksgiving was beautiful. Then November hit. And oh my god, 2023 was really trying to take everybody. I found out my friend from, one of my friends from middle school had killed themselves. That's one. I was given more information about the whole Billy situation. That's two. Because apparently one of his victims didn't survive. Ugh. We discovered, I want to say mid to late November, that Suki was getting sicker. And the day finally came. The worst part is I knew this shit was going to happen. It's probably going to make you sound crazy, but precognitions are real. It's often referred to as deja vu, but seeing something before it happens and then experiencing it months later, it's actually something that is in my family. But I predicted it as follows. Trixie would go first, Madison would go second, Sean's wedding would happen, Suki would die. The scary thing is, the next thing is Sean dies this year. He has a brain cyst right now. Thankfully, nothing malignant or nothing dangerous. But the fucking precognition has got me fucking paranoid and has got me extremely worried about my precious older brother. I mean, my brother Sean, or my brother Patrick was already going through health issues, so it's like, hey, you fuckers better not die on me. So, it was the morning of, let's say, November 26th. Britt and I were in the front room. It was bright sunny outside, unlike right now where it's cold as hell outside. I opened my phone, because I don't really stay in the family chat very often on Facebook Messenger. I just honestly don't care. It's mainly TikTok stuff, and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. TikTok means absolutely nothing to me. It's nothing that I have against it. It's just something I'm not interested in. That's essentially YouTube Shorts before YouTube Shorts. I just don't care. Which unfortunately caused a fight between me and Mom on Christmas, but it's not important. I checked my phone. I had like 5 missed calls from Mom, and I'm like, what's going on? And she tried calling again, and I finally answered. And with a straight face, she told me, and I could tell she had been crying, she's gone. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, did you read the family chat? I'm like, no, I just opened my phone. Suki's gone. And it took me a minute, right? It didn't hit me right away. It took me a fucking minute. But the minute it did, I was so fucking angry. It's like, yeah, I was obviously in pain. That's my kid. This is Britt and I's daughter. But I was so fucking angry that I was not in a good place. I was not a pleasant person to be around, putting it very mildly. If someone who had caused me physical harm in the past had showed up, I would have put them in the hospital. Bear in mind, I'm a fucking pacifist. I don't raise my fist for anyone, unless in self-defense. But if Brittany's mom would have showed up at that moment, you would have seen me in handcuffs by the end of that day. That's how fucking pissed I was. which honestly would have been fitting considering she was the reason I missed her death. But yeah, it wasn't until like a few hours later the pain finally hit, and it fucking knocked me to my knees. It's like a part of me was gone. Like the last bit of my childhood and the last bit of, I guess you could say, innocence. I don't know if that's the right term. It sounds weird. Was gone. Because when Madison and Trixie died, I was like, I thought my childhood was just dead, right? Okay. I finally come to terms with that to a degree. No, losing Suki hurt worse than anything I've ever experienced before. I've been stabbed, I've been shot, I've been raped. Well, not worse than the rape, obviously, but emotionally speaking, it felt like a knife was jabbed into my fucking heart. And I just remember freezing. And Brittany immediately pulled me close and gave me a hug, and I just fucking burst into tears. And I thought, okay, you know, I've got the emotions out, maybe I can start to come to terms with it. But no, this was much different. This was a much more severe case of loss than I had ever experienced before. Worse than Lamont, worse than Mischief, worse than anybody. I wouldn't say Billy, because when I found out about what he did, I didn't really mourn him, actually, after that. Long story short, we had a friend named Billy, who we literally hadn't spoken to for 10 years. He was looking for an apartment last year. I gave him some suggestions. About 5 months ago, I want to say 4 months ago now, he killed himself, and it was revealed that he was a fucking pedophile, which fucking killed me and Patrick because we looked up to him. Like, he was a hero to us. He was a brother to us. It broke us. It broke all the friend groups we were in. Everybody was just shattered by the news. And the worst part is, he had committed suicide in front of one of our friends, who was now fucking traumatized from it. It was a fucked up situation. But yeah, losing Suki, that was a pain I can't really put into words other than simply saying it's like devoting your life to something and then having it ripped away. Watching someone or something grow and then watch them horribly die. So, like, imagine you adopt a kid, right? Which Suki I didn't adopt. I raised her from birth. I raised her when she opened her eyes. She was very sick, and I nursed her back to health. It's how she grew attached to me. She was also attached to my brother Patrick because he rescued her from a tree. Because apparently firefighters don't actually do that. We had to do that ourselves. She was in a very high tree for like a day because she snuck out while we were asleep, and in the following morning, we heard up in the tree, and it was her. She's a little poof ball at the time. The best way to describe losing her, how it felt, would just simply be how Britt and I felt how we'd imagine an actual human parent would feel losing their human child. I have not been the same since. I don't feel whole anymore. I don't feel myself anymore. But yeah, that's why and the worst part is, this literally happened an hour, and you guys probably remember the stream if you guys watched it before I deleted it off Twitch because I just wasn't happy with it. This happened literally an hour before I did a stream event to celebrate 300 followers on Twitch. Yeah, that stream. Playing Risk of Rain Returns and Risk of Rain 2 with my buddy Codingale from the Gmod and Minecraft server I'm a part of, and my buddy Moses, aka Nick, who you guys know from my Discord, who I had known for the better part of 6 years. Him and I are super close. He's good mate. He's also a massive shit poster, so he's not like a dick or anything. He just likes to post memes, and a lot of them like to troll things. It's really funny. So unfortunately, the majority of that stream was me just kind of, talking about it and coming to terms with it, which is why I deleted it, because I didn't want that to be on stream. I regret it now because it probably would have given more context to why I was so fucking down for weeks after that. My dad brought her by later that day in a basket with her little blankie, which this is actually her blanket. You'll notice that I either stiff or hold this blanket a lot. It's because it helps me relax. It helps me stay calm because it reminds me of when she used to lay on my chest when she was a baby, or when she would lay on the blanket when she was older. But Dad buried her with the blankie they gave her, which is fair. They raised her after I moved out. I got to say goodbye. Brittany got to like see her for like a second before we had to go and bury her. Jet and Shadow sniffed her, and they had this reaction like they knew who she was based on my reaction. It was really interesting. It was almost like an intuition. Like they're like, oh, this is who Dad is sad about, kind of thing. Oh, this is who Dad is talking about the past few days. This is why Dad was sad. And it was really cute because Jet was like, he like nuzzled the basket, right, thinking she was asleep. Shadow knew right then, knew she was dead. Looked at her, didn't think nothing of it, right? But Jet, he like nuzzled the basket. He wanted to get in the basket with her because he's like, oh, a new kitty. Because here's the thing, Jet likes other cats. He loves his brother Loki. He didn't like Thor because Thor's a little punk. He likes his brother Zeus, who is my son by proxy because he's Suki's twin brother. He's a big black cat next door that my sister still has, who we unfortunately recently discovered has diabetes. He's a very sweet boy. He has the little fangs sticking out. It's cute. But Jet was like super excited to see her, and it was heartbreaking because you see the moment in his face when he realizes she was actually dead. Because he like tried to jump on the basket. My dad kind of pushed her off, or pushed him off. Sorry, pushed him off the basket. Because like picture this: it's like a big ass laundry basket, like a rectangle, right? There's a blanket. Suki's wrapped up in it, nice and snugly. And Jet was like sniffing her and everything. But as soon as he realized she was dead, he just kind of stopped and stared. Which is sad because I think that was the first time he had ever seen like a dead animal. But yeah, after we buried her, I couldn't do it. My dad had to. I couldn't bring myself to do it. He did it for me. I was there with him. We buried her in Illinois with the other animals to say goodbye, so she could play with Madison in heaven. We're pagans, so we don't believe in heaven. We believe in reincarnation. We're Wiccan specifically. Hence the symbol on my channel. Right side up star, pentacle. Upside down, pentagram. By the way, neither is evil. It's just the 5 elements of Earth. Earth, air, water, fire, spirit. That's all it is. I don't know how that got turned into the devil or whatever the fuck, but I don't care. The medley, yeah, it still fucking hurts. You spend so much time with someone and then they're just fucking gone, obviously. But with something you consider your child, it's much worse. The thing fell in the can. Oh shit. Oh well, now I just got a rattly monster. So then that happened. I tried my best to try and get myself used to the idea that when I go over to my parents now, it's essentially just going to be empty. Madison, Trixie, and Suki were all gone. They still have Onyx and Stormy, right? Isn't that Shadow and Jet's the baby brother? We all got cats from Sean, by the way. Stormy and Onyx came from Sean. Mom and Dad got them. Loki came from Sean. Crystal got Loki. He's the one you guys have seen me make videos of that I call Demon Eyes. He's a beautiful white cat with orange ears, piercing yellow eyes, hence why I call him Demon Eyes. Very sweet boy. Looks just like their mother, honestly, Sapphire, who Sean and Amber still have, because believe it or not, Sapphire's still alive. She's had 3 fucking litters, but that bitch is still kicking, thankfully. And I'm glad. She's a very sweet kitty. She's very affectionate. When we went over on Thanksgiving, she was very happy to see us, and she actually could smell her boys on us. And she started nuzzling us, and I'm like, oh, she remembers her babies. That's cute. I thought that's really what it was, but it's cute to think about. But we had finally started to, I guess, start to come to terms with it, because again, the permanence is always the hardest part for me. Which I'd assume that's the hardest part for anybody, right? Just knowing someone you care about is here one day and then poof, gone the next. Forever. You're not going to see them years down the line and be like, hey, it's been a while. No, they're fucking gone. So after all that happened, we thought, okay, you know, year's almost over. There's going to be no more tragedies and all that. Oh, how wrong I was. We discovered, but I was later told by an older friend of mine from middle school that our friend had committed suicide. He had apparently been fighting some psychological issues for a few years, and they just essentially defeated him. By that point, I was just fucking numb. I was still trying to get over Suki, or move forward from Suki's death. I was still moving forward from Madison and Trixie's deaths. I was trying to move forward from everything. Try and stay optimistic and positive. But even without the tragedies and the deaths, we were still struggling for everything we have. Like, we still don't even have furniture. This chair is the closest thing I have to an actual couch. There's a chair right here, which is like a dining room chair. Glass doors, exercise bike we found, entertainment center, my desk, which Brittany stole. Not kidding, by the way. She's actually using my desk. So it's like, even when there wasn't like legit tragedies, it was just 2023. We were just struggling nonstop. It was just getting to the point where her and I were fucking exhausted. Like, we were getting along better than ever. We hadn't had any sort of fights or anything like that. We hadn't had any arguments or anything in a while. By the way, fights doesn't mean like fist fight. It means just yelling kind of thing. Just to clarify, 'cause good God, people, it's the internet. You have no idea how many people would just be like, oh, so you fight your wife. No, actually. She asked me if I wanted to practice boxing with her, and I'm just like, no. You hit me in the nuts in accident as it is. Why the hell would I let you do so intentionally? So yeah, that's how 2023 ended. Was just more fucking tragedy. I did, however, get to do the trifecta on the 31st after all. Unfortunately, due to the fucking consistent internet issue, I could not submit the run. My new record is 8 hours and 6 minutes for the entire trilogy. And I did it for the anniversary of the channels, which I noticed that the one time I did an event for the channels themselves and not for charity, no one showed up. So now I know that the main reason people were showing up to the other ones was because of the charity aspect, and it's like, fair enough, right? It's a good cause. I just wanted to do something nice for the viewers, for everyone who's stuck in my community for all these years. Because a lot of you have actually followed me over from when I used to stream on YouTube. Because I streamed on YouTube in, when was that? That was 20? No, that was 2016, 2017, I believe. Because I've been a streamer for going on 8 years. Yeah, 8 years in March, or I think that's April. Hold on a minute. I can actually look this up because I can just go to my YouTube channel and be like, what the oldest video? Shut the fuck up, Sparrow. There we go. So if I go to videos and I go to sort by oldest, my very first video was from Dark Souls. It was in 7 years ago, and it was, excuse me, May 31st. That was close. I did say May, didn't I? I said May 24th. May 31st, 2016 was the very first stream I had ever did. There was no commentary, no face cam. It was just me showing gameplay of Dark Souls 3. So May 31st, 2024, I will probably do a Dark Souls stream, to be honest. I haven't streamed that game in a while. I'm kind of getting sleep. I'm kind of getting a little burnt out on the celebration streams just because I've done a shit ton of them lately. Nah, it's fine. I can do another one. But when May 23rd, 2026 comes around, I have a big announcement. Hopefully it'll be done by then. But yeah, I have a big announcement. May 23rd, 2026, for whoever's still in the channel, for whoever's in the community by then, I have a massive announcement. And it's what's been going on lately that's kind of got me thinking about it more than anything. So I hope that I get it done by then. There we go. So yeah, Trifecta went okay. There was some major hiccups with Spiral 1. I had to restart the damn game, I think it was 4 times, because I kept messing up trying to get Thief, as well as getting the chest right next to the second fucking ram, I think it was. Yeah, the second ram. And so I had to restart that 4 times. Spiral 1 went meh. It was very, very shitty run. It was D-rust like crazy, and for a Trifecta, that's really fucking bad. Spyro 2 was a fucking nightmare as expected, but it was still better than I thought it would be. But the biggest surprise was that Spyro 3, I saved 17 goddamn minutes. So not only did I get a new leaderboard record for the Trifecta, I got a new leaderboard for Spyro 3. You know, had I been able to submit the fucking stream. I'm still pissed about that. You guys saw that. I trained for months. I even uploaded it to YouTube, the journey called Journey to the King, where I was going to try and beat Dr. House's Spyro 3 record. And I almost did, actually. And the fucking internet happened. Trifecta went okay. So we're just going to say that went okay. January hits. Britt and I celebrate New Year's. Well, first of all, we celebrated my birthday before the Trifecta on New Year's by drinking Bacardi. Oops, sorry, Bacardi. I don't like Bacardi, if you can't tell. And we mixed it with eggnog, and we drank that, which was very nice. And then we watched Hellboy with my parents, which is my second favorite movie of all time. Because I'll be honest, I don't think anyone wants to see Infinity War again, which is actually my favorite movie of all time. Avengers: Infinity War. Because I've always been obsessed with the Infinity Gauntlet. Conceptually, I just think it's really fucking cool. You have 6 glowing gemstones. You can just snap your fingers and make anything happen. Kinda. In the comics, they make it more believable, because each gem gives you certain aspect control over the universe. Whereas in the fucking movie, it's just he snaps his fingers, he gets whatever the fuck he wants. It's still fucking pissed us what they did with it. They made it a wish machine, which it's a really weird kind of complex to this, right? They made it the Wish Machine from DC Universe. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there is this machine in the DC Comics that can grant any wish. There's no limit. You can literally become the Presence, aka the DC's version of the One Above All. No limitation. And that's essentially what they did with the Infinity Gauntlet. It felt so lazy when you have all these cool concepts to explain what each of these gems does and what you can do with all of them combined, and they just turned it into I'm gonna make this happen with the wish. It just felt bullshit to me. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. I do like in Endgame we do get to see comic Thanos. Because it's not some bullshit excuse that he's trying to save the universe. No, comic book Thanos is literally, I will destroy the universe and remake it in my image. And that's exactly what he says in Endgame. And I'm just like, there he is. Why is he not this in Infinity War? Also, where's Mistress Death? Him, Deadpool, and Mistress Death are literally a love triangle. I'm not joking. Yes, that Deadpool from fucking Ryan Reynolds movie. So yeah, Trifecta went well. Birthday went well. I am now 28. Yay. January started off interesting. Started off peaceful. You had a good few days. And then, almost like fucking clockwork, another bad thing happened. I tried to order groceries for Britt and I through DoorDash. The Aldi's near us, for anyone who knows what that is, it's a grocery store, and it's the only one in St. Louis that takes EBT, food stamps. And I essentially figured out a trick to get groceries so that we could save money but still be able to pay all the bills and still have money left over for food. If you spend $10 of SSI disability or whatever your income is physically for the tip or whatever for the DoorDash driver, and you shop at Aldi's through DoorDash, you can get all the food items using your EBT. They take food stamps. You could just use your food stamps to get all the items, and it's cheaper because you're using EBT. So you can get like I think it was like 5 nights of food we got, right? And we got it for $30 of EBT and $10 of SSI. So that's $40 total for 7 nights of food, which, let me add that up for a minute. I'd say that's like a third less than what you would spend at an actual grocery store for 7 nights of food, with the cost of inflation and with the pandemic causing everything to rise in price as well. It'd be like $120 fucking dollars to get a full 7 nights of food now here in St. Louis. I don't know if it's that case in other cities, but just giving my specific city example. I've mentioned my home a little bit. Maybe, I don't know if I can keep this stream. It should be fine. I'm not giving my address. Like, hey, this is my address. Come find me. No. What am I, Jigsaw?
I want to play a game.
No. Which would have gone swimmingly, except there's one kind of little hitch about DoorDash, and there's the drivers. And no, I'm not shitting on DoorDash or the drivers as a whole. I'm just shitting on the fact that shitty people will take any job. And I'm not saying you're shitty for taking any job. I'm just saying shitty people you can find shitty people at literally every job. Unfortunately, this was one of those instances. I went a little overboard with the grocery shopping, which was the point, right? We wanted to get 2 full weeks of food, 14 nights for like $150. It sounds like a lot, I know, but again, food stamps. It's supposed to last a month. If we can spend half of it on half a month, then it's doing its job, right? Unfortunately, the DoorDash driver didn't get a fucking thing on the list. And actually, worse than that, he didn't even refund any of the items he didn't get. What he instead gave us, and Brittany can quote me on this, he gave us these 4 bottles of this disgusting-ass liquid. It was supposed to be a substitute for the lemonade we ordered. I ordered lemonade because it's been, for some reason, citrus, of all things, has been helping my teeth. It could just be that my teeth are dead now, but, you know, that's always a thing in Charlie. But yeah, he gave us this really shitty liquid, and then that was it. I ordered 4 1 liters of this kind of carbonated lemonade, just to have something to drink other than fucking water for once. I know I sound like a spoiled brat for saying that. It's like a very first world country issue, but living off of water is not something I can do. I'm fine with having water, right? I'm not complaining, knock on wood. We have water to drink, right? Especially since the tap water is gross and probably is going to get us sick, actually, knowing St. Louis.
And the West Coast, you don't want to drink their tap water. You can't drink it at all. It's considered known as dry water.
Yep. So, not only did he give us this 4 waters of the shit that, no joke, even Brittany took a sip from it, is just like, I want to die. The nasty ass shit the DoorDash driver gave us, instead of literally everything else. The next day, like, we lost $180 that day because of it. Or no, we lost, what was it, like $80, and then the 100 came from the membership. Brett, it was $80 from the order, and then we lost the 100, making the 200 from the membership, right? Wasn't that how it went?
Yeah, and then there was that fiasco with Chipotle. We're not doing that again.
I'll get to that. So yeah, we got screwed over by DoorDash 3 times. First time, guy didn't get anything on the list, didn't even refund any of the items he didn't get, which is supposed to be the case. I fought with DoorDash for like 4 hours to get that money back, and I never got it back. The next day, I tried to order the shit again, because again, we had no food. We went to bed without dinner that night. The boys had food. They always have food, thankfully. We make sure even if we starve, they have food, because as a parent, that's your job. Provide for your children. You know what I mean? If you have to go to bed hungry, make sure your kids don't at least. Preferably neither of you go, but you know what I mean, right? As a parent, you want to make sure your kid's okay. And yeah, the boys were fed. A little overfed. Shaw's a little porker. He's a little chubby boy. Sorry, I'm getting off track. It's my ADHD. The next day I tried ordering the groceries again, and we got a completely different DoorDash driver. Same store, Aldi, and he got everything. He got every fucking thing on the list. It was beautiful. And he gave it to us saying that he would fight for our credit. Because not only did we lose $180 or $80, because the total was 200. Oh no, I guess it was 190. We lost $100 to that, but that was all spent on with EBT, which makes it that much more dangerous. Yes, I'm allowed to use my EBT on that. Obviously, they offer the option, right? But if I can't get that money back, then we're still fucked money-wise for food in the future. But yeah, eventually got that sorted out. Never got the money back, by the way. We got it in fucking DoorDash credit instead. Even though I requested debit card or food stamps or debit card because, again, struggling bad. And the reason why DoorDash credit isn't okay is because not only do you not get the discount for using EBT, but if you get it in DoorDash credit, you also can't use it at stores that only take EBT. Which, that's what pissed Britt and I off the most, honestly. It's like, oh, it's fine if we get it in credit and we can just use it at Aldi again, right? That's our go-to store for groceries. Nah, not allowed. I'm gonna kill this bird real quick because I get free gems. Yay. So yeah, all that happened. We got the food at least. At that point, we didn't even care about the money. We just wanted food, right? We're happy to have something to eat and drink. God has blessed the second driver. That was awesome. So then, a few days later, DoorDash gave me the offer to upgrade our subscription, which would help us get even more groceries for literally half the price. This wouldn't affect the driver, by the way. They would still get the full tip. It's just the order's price itself. The food items themselves would each be 50% off. So this would have been perfect. And it said the caveat was that you would have to pay $96 at the end of the year. And I'm like, honestly, that's fine. The end of the year is usually when we do our yearly subscriptions. We have one for PlayStation Plus so that I can stream as a living. We have one for DoorDash. We would have had one for DoorDash now, right? Nope. Even though it was already January, they consider that the end of the year, and they charged me $96 fucking instantly. So we were now down a whopping $196 fucking dollars. If you ever wondered why I kept mentioning that Brittany's paying my half of the bills other than rent this month, that's why. So we lost $196 in the span of 2 days. Or 3 days. Wasn't it like 3 or 4 days, right, Britt? The Russian guy came in from Chipotle. Oh, yeah. Actually, we lost more than that because of Chipotle. I got paid, so I wanted to spoil my wife with Chipotle. We both like burritos. She likes the vegan ones. I like the meat ones because, goddamn, burritos are just, delicious. So I spent $40 of my actual money on Chipotle, right? Getting us some food for dinner to spoil her a little bit. She had some really rough shifts. I'll get to that in a minute. Her job may have just screwed us out of our home. That didn't go too well. The DoorDash driver barely spoke English. Not a problem. That's fine. If I need to learn another language, I'm fine with that. Again, I'm all for all cultures. The problem is that he was kind of an asshole. Not only did he give us attitude when he came up to our door and gave us the wrong food, he gave us someone else's order, which was like 3 times what we actually ordered, which was just 2 burritos. Full size, mind you, but still 2 burritos. That's it, with like a dipping sauce for her, I think it was. But he gave us attitude the whole time. He's like, well, it's gotta be your fucking order. And I'm just like, what do you get? I'm just thinking to myself, what is this guy getting mad at us about? He's the one that fucked up the order. So then he's like, okay, fine. My wife is standing out in the freezing cold talking to this jackass as he's driving away to go get us the actual order. 1, he never came back. 2, he never picked up that other person's order from us to take to that person, so they didn't go hungry. And 3, when we called Chipotle, they didn't even give us a refund, credit, or anything. So we were immediately down another fucking $40. And this time, this wasn't ABT. This was actual fucking money. And not saying food stamps isn't actual money. You know what I mean. It's debit. We were fucking pissed. So we went from being ahead on bills, you know, having food finally, to I couldn't even pay my half of everything this month except for my rent, because thankfully I pay that every first. And now we were down a total whopping $230 at least. If you want to know why I haven't bought Modern Warfare 3 or any of the games I said I would buy to stream for you guys, that's fucking why. I was going to use my Christmas money to get new games to stream for you guys, because again, I love making content for you guys. That's my job, and I fucking thoroughly enjoy it. I wish I could make an income from it so I can start putting it into Humans United and start expanding our resources and reach out to more people. Again, it's a whole process, but I also understand streaming is one hell of a popularity game. And as long as you guys like my content, I'm happy. You know what I mean? I'll keep streaming as long as you guys enjoy it, because I thoroughly enjoy it. But yeah, like I said, we went ahead. We went from being ahead on everything to not only $100 behind on almost every bill, but now we were $240 in the hole. How did we get out of it? We didn't. To this day, we're still struggling with it. And if all that wasn't bad enough, that wasn't even the last bad thing to happen to us this month. As I mentioned before, Crystal's apartment flooded. Shortly after that, because we're still fixing that, believe it or not, almost a week later, we are still trying to get that taken care of for her, because that poor woman cannot catch a break with her apartment. Because remember, her apartment flooded last year too, about midway through, and if you guys remember, I had to postpone that stream for about 2.5 days. Which is not a long time, but it ended up being 4. Because I wanted to help her out and everything. I just wasn't as nice about it back then, which I still feel bad about. I was like, oh, I don't want to, I'm exhausted. But it's like, you know, my sister needed me, right? This is a woman who I've looked up to since I was a kid. This is a woman who practically raised me, because my sister is significantly older than me. She's 42. Our mom is 60, almost to 70. I can feel the knife in my back. Not literally, don't worry. My mom's not like that. So yeah, this time when it flooded, I made sure I was over there. I actually helped Muhammad, who is our awesome maintenance guy. I think he's also partial LL, but I don't know actually. But all I know is I've talked about Muhammad before. He's this awesome guy, works on the building. He's a Call of Duty player like me, and I've actually invited him to play on stream with me sometimes. So stay tuned to that, I guess. I don't know. Dude's got a lot of responsibilities though, so I understand if he never has time for it. But yeah, he was super cool. He responded instantly. He got us the shop back. We were able to... Well, no. I gotta slow down a little bit. We needed to first figure out what the fuck was causing her apartment to leak, because there was water coming from the ceiling into her apartment. And it was so bad that her kitchen was this... Well, okay, so... Monster Cam for reference, right? Up to the M is how deep the water was in the kitchen alone. The carpet was completely drenched. It was completely ruined, which is completely dry now, so I guess they replaced it, which, awesome. And I noticed there was like a leak coming from the ceiling. There was drips now coming from the front room. Essentially what led to me discovering this is my sister said, Duncan, go check on my apartment. I hear water running. And bear in mind, we've had break-ins in this area before, so my first instinct is, okay, grab my knife in case someone's in her apartment. Don't use it unless necessary, right? But definitely be intimidating if someone is breaking into my sister's home, you know what I mean? Again, pacifist. I try not to use violence at all, because I just don't think it's ever necessary unless you're in a life or death situation where someone's literally trying to kill you. This, again, coming from someone who's been stabbed. It's not fun. I've actually shown the scar on stream. People didn't even realize it. It's on my back. But yeah, she had me go over to her apartment, and yeah, I just called her and said, hey sis, your apartment's flooding. And her first response wasn't, oh fuck, it was, not again. Because every time a flooding problem happens in this goddamn building, my poor, awesome older sister is the first one to suffer from it. If not the only one to suffer from it. and remembering last time, as well as remembering when our carpet flooded, because my wife is kind of an airhead sometimes and left the sink on. She's giving me a dirty look. And remembering how miserable it was to have to do that all ourselves, to clean it up. We literally spent $80 on our own shop vac because it took Muhammad 2 weeks to get someone out to us, because apparently it was just fucking busy. Which, again, I understand. It was that month, right? It was a lot of shit going on. I didn't hold that against him. Just quick shout out to Muhammad. Awesome fucking guy. Everyone, obviously, I think saying his first name's fine on stream as long as you don't say his last name, which I don't know anyway. But awesome family man, very sweet man. He's only been working at the apartment for like a year and a half, and he's gotten so much shit done. He gets things done, and he even created like a special link that we put requests in for have stuff done. Everything we have requested he's done. No questions asked. Our blinds broke because I was sick as a dog and I fell and pulled them down. Remember when I had the flu, stomach flu, and sinus infection at the same time? Yeah, that's why that happened. Instantly got it done. The cabinet that stabbed Brittany in the knee when we moved in, he fixed it once he heard about it. The drawer in the kitchen that just wouldn't fucking work because the gears were, the mechanism was rusted because, it's an old building. Instantly replaced it. The dude's fucking on top of the ball, nonstop, 24/7. So much fucking respect to him. And this was no different. The minute Crystal let him know, he was on his way. He asked me for help to hold the ladder so he could check the roof because he said it's coming from the upstairs apartment and that it's flooding into their apartment too. So this was a 2-apartment flood. It wasn't just Crystal's apartment's flooding. No, this was something that was going through the building down. And that's where him and I got the idea. It's got to be the roof, right? Well, as it turns out, when he got to the roof, he had me turn off the water. He showed me how to for the building. Obviously, we explained it to the tenants. For anyone that this sounds weird to, I often help out around the building. I help out because I like to help people. Because again, after the carpet thing, I was a little shaken up from that. But I like to help people around the building because it's really hard to get everything done. And Muhammad is always busting his ass off to make sure this place is running smoothly for all of us. And I'm like, yeah, it's the least I can do. So yeah, I'll get off my ass and help. I'm a stay-at-home dad who streams for a living. I can get off my ass and do some manual labor, you know what I mean? I don't mind helping. But especially since this was my sister. But anyway, I held the ladder. He climbed up to the roof. He climbed down. He told me what was going on. He found the source of the leak, and it was a pipe. And this is where Crystal and I Crystal told me the idea. It's got to be a pipe burst. So we turned off the water in the basement. He showed me how to do it. Which is cool, so now that if this happens again, because winter happens, then I can just run to the basement, turn off the water immediately, and we at least get the flooding to stop first to negate as much damage as possible to the carpet in the apartments. So this is now really good information I have to help. And yeah, he's like, I found the problem, and I'm like, what happened? He's like, the pipe burst. I'm like, yeah, we kind of figured that. So we turned off the water. Flooding is officially gone. Next thing I know, he's like, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna rent some shop vacs. I'm gonna, ask Janesh. It's our landlord. Who, by the way, is doing much better. I'm not gonna go into detail, but he was going through some health things. I am not at liberty to say what specifically, but he's doing much better. There we go. Alright, back to what I was saying. It was really funny because he could get 2 shop vacs. And so he's like, hey, Duncan, you feel like doing some work? I'm like, hell yeah. And I'm like, Janesh, it's really good to see you. I'm glad you're feeling better. He's like, hey, thanks, man. It's good to see you, too. It was like the most positive interaction I've had with a person in a long time. You know what I mean? In person, that is. Other than Muhammad, because, again, him and I talk a lot whenever he's around the building. I'm like, hey, can you help with anything? He's like, yeah, can you help me with this? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Yeah, Muhammad and I had some really cool discussions because it was really just going to be him shop vacuuming the apartment, right? And I'm like, okay, no, he's coming by this early in the morning. This is my sister, and if we do this together anyway, it gets done faster. I'm going to go ahead and help out. I'm going to use the other shop vac, and I did. So Muhammad and I had some really nice conversations about like world theory, world politics, and world history and stuff. And we found we have a lot of similar ideologies when it comes to world equality. And I told him about Humans United and what I do with that, and he was very interested in it. He got the entire kitchen shop vac, right? That water was gone. We just needed to wipe it down with the towel because, you know, it's obviously remnants and all that shit. So then we moved on to the hallway, which there's like, so her kitchen is like this, and it goes into the hallway, and then she has like a little closet right here, and then there's the bathroom, bedroom, and then office where where the chinchillas are sleeping. Oh, those poor babies. They did not like the sound of the water. And her sons, her cats, Loki, Zeus, and Thor. Can you tell we're pagan? They were in the bedroom, freaking the fuck out. Zeus especially, the big black cat that's, you know, Suki's twin brother, freaked the hell out. And then he saw me, and he just looked at me like, Dad, I'm scared. And I'm like, yeah, I know you are, because you don't like water. You're literally a pussycat. So I picked him up, I held him for a little bit, he was fine, and then he, like, did this. Like, he stared, and then he started freaking out, so I put him down. He just doesn't like being held very long. So we started on the hallway. We were working on it for like an hour, and we realized there wasn't really much we could do. We would have to call, I guess, Spectrum, because they're not just a cable. There's an internet company, Spectrum, and then there's a carpet cleaning company called Spectrum. And so he had to call Spectrum. And he's like, hey, can you do some shop vacuuming for a few hours after I leave so we can try and get this dry faster? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I drank a Monster, and keep in mind, this has how many fucking milligrams of caffeine? It's like 150 or something like that. No, there's a lot of sodium though. That's interesting. Carbonated water, citric acid. Yeah, that's the citric, obviously. I'm sorry, what does that say? Cyanocobalamin. Cyanocobalamin. What the fuck is that? I'm just looking for where the caffeine is. It should just say on the can, right? Usually they do. Oh well, I'm just gonna say 150, right? Well, Celsius has 200 milligrams of caffeine, but it's actually healthy for you. It turns your own metabolism into energy. Basically, it speeds up your metabolism, whereas caffeine by itself, like this, especially with taurine, which causes like 6 different types of cancer. Obviously not sponsored by Monster. I wish I was, though. This has 150 actual milligrams of caffeine, and that doesn't use your metabolism. It just fucks up your heart. So the thing about caffeine that people misconstrue is that it actually gives you more energy. No, it gives you the illusion of energy because it slows down your metabolism, or speeds it up. Sorry. And where it sounds healthy for that to be the case, no, caffeine is actually really fucking bad for you in big quantities, because the more your heart is stimulated, the more it's forced to overwork itself, the more higher risk you're going to have for a heart attack. Which at my age is unfortunately very fucking common from these damn things. That's why I'm trying my best to stop drinking them, but I needed to drink one today. One, to do this stream, because I was literally passing out before I recorded. And 2, so I can get some more cleaning done, because Britt and I have been on a cleaning spree all day. You can hear her in the kitchen right now. So we got that done, right? I was shop vacuuming for a good 2 hours, and then the energy started to crash. All that caffeine I drank was no longer working. Nothing I drank was keeping me awake. And so I went home, brought the shop vac with me, because it's an industrial shop vac. I asked Muhammad if I could bring it over first. Obviously, it's not my fucking industrial machine. And he's like, yeah, just remember that we're coming to pick it up tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Shop vac'd my kitchen, swept the kitchen, mopped the kitchen, just did everything to the kitchen floor because that fucker just did not want to clean. Anyone who knows me knows I really hate a messy kitchen. I've worked in restaurants that they just did not clean their stations as they were cooking. And if you know anything about cross-contamination, you know why that's very fucking dangerous. I got sick a lot because of it. I would have them make me I want to say a dish without giving away the restaurant, because I don't want to put the restaurant on blast, because the restaurant itself was fine to work at. It's just that there was a few employees that were kind of assholes. I'll just say a burger. They didn't actually sell burgers, but I'll say burger for the sake of the story. Say I had them make me a burger, right? Well, because they never cleaned their station, that burger was fucking disease-ridden as hell. So by the time I got home, I had stomach problems. So yeah, I just don't like messy kitchens. So I went home, shot back my fucking kitchen, mopped and everything, did the dishes, because Britt still wasn't fucking home. Yeah, this seems to happen whenever Britt's at work, by the way. Both when my carpet flooded and when Crystal's carpet flooded. So I've had to be home alone for both of them. Brittany?
Yeah?
I hate your job.
I know.
Did you hear what I said about the flooding?
Oh, what?
Did you hear what I said about the flooding?
That I hate my job?
Yeah, you wanna know why?
Why?
Because when both of these floods happened, I was home alone. Thank God Muhammad and Janesh were here to help, or else I would have been fucking standing in water for 6.5 hours. Yeah, because we wouldn't have had the shop vac, because they wouldn't have gotten it. Yeah. Our shop vac's broken, by the way. The fucker broke down as we used it, so we're going to have to take it back and hopefully get that 80 back. There's food money right there. But yeah, the kitchen was done. I went back over to Crystal's, started moving stuff out of the living room, because the flood had spread from the kitchen to the hallway to the living room. And so I was moving stuff for her from there. And at first I panicked because I thought her girlfriend's tablet got destroyed by the water. No, it was on the bottom shelf, completely away from the water. So it was completely safe. So I just put that in her bedroom. Or in my sister's bedroom. And then, I'm trying to think, sorry, it was a lot. I hear you. You hear me. Well, I should hope so. I'm talking. Essentially, after that, I just went back into my apartment, sat down for a few minutes, played with the babies, because they were very worried, because I was running back and forth between apartments. By this point, I was ready to fucking drop. A lot of people don't know what this term means, so I'll just explain it real quick. Waterlogged is when you've been exposed to so much water that your entire body is pruny. I was waterlogged for 6 hours straight. Not even just from Crystal's apartment, but just fucking leaning, or getting on my knees in the water, fucking scrubbing the kitchen floor in water, being wet from the flood in the first place. So I was just fucking ready to drop. I was exhausted. Finally, my wife gives me some shred of hope that she can come home early and help me. Yeah, spoiler alert, that didn't fucking happen. And no, I'm not mad at her about that. I'm mad at her job. Again, I get it. You have to stay there for the hours you were set to work. Whatever. I get that. I just family emergency. And yes, this was a family emergency, because had we not contained this could have caused mold. For anyone who doesn't know, water damage is obviously a massive spreader of mold and can cause mold, especially in carpet like Berber, like we have in both our apartments. Berber is very susceptible to water and can easily be damaged by enough of it. Like when our carpet got flooded because, Britt didn't think the sink needed to turn off. I'm going to keep teasing her about that, though. I'm not actually upset with her. I just think it's funny that it happened because it seems like something I would do, and somehow she was the one that made the mistake, not me. Just to clarify, I'm not making fun of her. I just think it's really funny that it wasn't me who made the mistake. Because honestly, that, again, sounds like something I would fucking do. Be like, oh, I'm just going to wash my hands, go back to bed. All of a sudden you wake up the next day. Why is the fucking carpet flooded? Did I turn that faucet off? No, I'm not. Yeah, that's it. I'm just thinking about it. I'm not running to the bathroom to turn off the faucet. No, I'm just going to sit there thinking like a fucking dumbass. Did I turn it off? It's mush up here sometimes, I'm telling you. But we finally got that settled. At least I thought we did. I'm going to help her continue moving stuff in her apartment this Wednesday, hence the stream being moved. Next day, I came over to visit. I wanted to check on them. They had no heat. I think the water may have damaged the water heater, which may not sound like it makes sense, but it could easily just put out the pilot light, right? It's a very old water heater. And so my sister and her girlfriend were freezing all night. And that was the case last night too. And so I went over. The carpet admittedly still looked like shit. Again, they still hadn't come by to fix the carpet yet. Thankfully, it looks better now, but you get what I mean. And Crystal's exhausted. She's fucking miserable. Kim's literally... Oh, I didn't even mention that. Kim, my sister's girlfriend, was in surgery for her nose. I don't know all the specifics. Essentially, she was having breathing problems and needed to have it, I think, destroyed and then reconstructed, I think they said. Which is... I'd never even heard of that before, but she's feeling better now. Don't worry, she's okay now. It's just going to be a while to heal, but yeah. I love Kim, by the way. She's fucking awesome. And I'm so glad her and my sister make each other happy. They're so cute together. Anyway. Sorry, I just like seeing happy couples. Britt and I don't really get to interact with very many couples, because again, we're stuck here 24/7. So the fact that my sister's not only in a new relationship for the first time in a long time, but it's a very healthy and very happy relationship is making me very happy for her. That's all I'm going to say on that, because I will annoy her if I say anything more. Kim's coming. Crystal's bringing Kim home from surgery, and apparently at the hospital, one of the pipes burst there too. So there's like a fire alarm going off, and they almost had to evacuate the hospital. And Crystal called me and told me this. She's like, "Yeah, one of the pipes just fucking burst in the hospital too." And I'm like, "Yeah, it seems to be fucking going around." She gets Kim home. It's adorable. Crystal's in full-blown nurse mode. Like, "Do you need anything, honey? Do you need anything, baby?" It's really fucking adorable. Like. My sister's a very compassionate person. If she sees a wounded animal on the street, she will save its life. If she sees a wounded person on the street, she will save their life. She's a very sweet lady. She's part of the reason I'm a humanitarian in the first place, honestly. I think. I don't know. That might be more mom. Either way. But I asked her if there's anything else, and she's like, "No, you've done a hell of a lot for me. Thank you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I wanted to make up for last time and just show you that I am here for you. I'm your little brother. And I'm family, you know? Because I'll be honest, the majority of my family don't even talk to each other. Crystal and my uncle do, my mom's brother. Me, mom, and dad do. Patrick rarely does, but he does come around sometimes. It's always a pleasure to see him. He's a good man. Poor guy's fucking exhausted half the time, though. He's a professional DJ, and he works at restaurants. I would kill to have that kind of energy. Not literally. Comment down, Twitch. Everything's finally calming down. And then the worst thing possible fucking happens. I do a playthrough of Resident Evil 4. Not worst thing possible, the worst thing that could happen afterwards happens, because let's be honest, the worst already did happen. Flooding is pretty damn bad. I do a playthrough of Resident Evil 4 Remake for you guys. 6 parts, no problems, no internet issues, not a single fucking problem. The very next goddamn fucking day... Brittany, stop it. The very next fucking day, I tried to stream the finale. You guys want to know why there's 7 fucking parts in one day? It's the internet. So we had been having trouble since... Remember this. I hope you've been keeping track of how many months we've been dealing with this. Since December. Since mid-December, we have had nothing but internet issues. Also known as intermittent issues, according to Spectrum themselves. Charter. If you know the cable company, it's the same company. Yeah, funny story about that. So essentially, go into the stream first. Essentially, I tried to do a 2-hour finale stream, which is ironically how long it ended up if you combine the different segments of the stream into one. Segments, but they're all different streams because again, the fucking thing fucking glitching. I would get 20 minutes into the first, or 4 minutes in the first part, and then poof, it crashed. And it's not like my PlayStation said, "Oh, I disconnected from the internet." No, it just the fucking red light that said live on the PlayStation just fucking said no and turned gray, and I'm just like, I do fucking what I did. So I'm like, hey, gaming, can you keep an eye on my internet for me? GamingMad92, you guys know him from my Spyro collaboration runs. He's a great friend of mine from Britain. Very sweet man. Not Britain, Europe, sorry. Very sweet man. Incredible Spyro 1 runner. Topped only by Lead, the Pwn, who's a very good friend of mine who I really hate that I don't talk to more. I don't know why, I just don't talk to him that much anymore. Anyway, He's like, yeah, bro, if I got your back. And I'm like, I appreciate it. Not even 20 fucking minutes later. Duncan, the stream crashed. I'm like, no, it did. Sure enough, the gray light was off. I started to figure it out, though. I paused the fucking game. And I literally made an announcement, because I restarted the fucking modem, because our modem and our router are right there plugged in, right? On that little table over there. I don't know if you guys see it. I'm not going to show it, because really no one needs to see the glass door. It looks like shit right now. I'll do an apartment tour once the apartment's clean. The wife did give me permission to do so, and hell, she'll even introduce herself, apparently. I don't believe it. She's got really bad social anxiety. Don't get you upset. So, not even 20 minutes fucking later, again, after I just restarted it, first things first, Gaming's like, hey, I'm back. Or, hey, we're back. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, we go... I could actually give actual accurate times, because I literally have the streams on Twitch as we speak. It's not that hard to find. Yep, there it is. 7 fucking parts. And I predicted it would be 7 parts. That's what creeped me the fuck out. Call it my empath senses. I don't know. But yeah, it goes 1 of 7, 2 of 7, 3 of 7, 4 of 7, 5 of 7, 6 of 7, 7 of 7. And each one of the parts is less than 20 minutes. So the first part's 5 minutes, like I said. The second part is 13 minutes, 39 seconds. Which, after that exact time, Gaming's like, dude, the stream crashed again. I'm like, I'm starting to get pissed now. So I did a speed test on Spectrum's website, the official website for the internet provider. And it's like, oh, you're getting 110% capacity. You're at fucking beautiful connection. You know, after I restarted the router and the modem. Because sometimes that does fix it. That's a true fact. So then part 3 happened. Not only did it not fix the issue, that was the shortest stream with a whopping 2 minutes 34 seconds. So yeah, there's a few minutes missing of the overall stream for the last two chapters of the game. So I restarted the stream again, and that's when I made the announcement. God damn it, internet be damned, I'm finishing this goddamn fucking game. And Gaming's like, go for it. I'm like, damn fucking Skippy. Because I felt like I owed it to you guys. I had built up this series for months, and you guys had been looking forward to it, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to finish this fucking game. Fuck the internet issues. I'm finishing this damn game for you guys, which I just figured out how I can stream for you guys. I can do offline streams on OBS for other games. I don't know if I can do that with remote play, though. That's the only problem. I'll figure it out. If we don't finish Crash 4, I'm not really going to mourn it. But if you guys want to see more of it, then yeah, I will. So then, I was smart. I waited a few minutes, then turned off the stream, because even when it crashes, it's not actually off. It'll still say live, just with the gray dot. So it says, do you want to stop the broadcast? Yes. Because if you do it too fast, a weird glitch happens where it says, where if you try to turn off the stream, it'll just give you that same message again. Do you want to turn off the broadcast, even though you've already done it? So you have to wait a few seconds. So then I retried it. That next part lasted exactly 32 minutes 17 seconds. We were finally getting somewhere lengthwise of streams. If I need to reduce my streams to a half hour or an hour, this was doable, right? Hence why I suggested that during Crash 4. Gaming physically calls me on Discord and just goes, Duncan, the stream crashed again. By this point, I'm ready to shatter everything in my bedroom. Yeah, I was streaming in my bedroom at that point because it was still cold as shit. It's still cold, but not as bad. So I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't even tell him. I just fucking I just ended the stream because it was the thing, you know, when it disconnects. So I'm like, okay, stop broadcast, wait a few seconds, turn it back on. This one was significantly shorter. 8 minutes, 27 seconds. By this point, I'm regretting my decision to finish the damn game, but still sticking to it because I am a man of my word, and I owed it to you guys because I wasn't keeping up with... In my eyes, I owed it to you guys because I wasn't... There we go. And we're back from the void. So yeah, I'm... That's why I've been trying to stay consistent with 6 uploads a week in terms of streams. Each 2 hours, and like I said, on the weekends, Fridays and Saturdays, whichever Spyro entry I'm running, however long those runs are. And I'm only still doing one run a day because I don't have the energy to hyper-focus for more than 4 hours at a time. I could do Spyro 1 twice a day. That could work. Also, I'm going to start painting my nails black again because a lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually goth. I just stopped wearing it because, again, I'm stuck home all day. Why am I dressing up, right? So yeah, there was that one. That was 32. That was 8 minutes 27 seconds. I was getting scared at this point. I restarted it the second to last time, and this one was 16 minutes and 21 seconds. This was the best we had so far since the 32 minutes, right? I'm like, okay, this is actually feasible, and that's when Gaming and I were talking about doing a Minecraft stream the next day. We actually did end up doing so 2 days later because he couldn't stream that day. I don't remember the reason why. Oh, that's why he was house sitting. So then that one went well. We had a nice little conversation about Minecraft, and I talked to him about basically the evolution of Resident Evil, how it went from this kind of tight corridor survival horror to survival horror mixed with action to nothing but action in Resi 5 and 6, which even if you don't factor in the fact that the 6 of Resi 6 literally looks like a prostitute blowing a giraffe, it's just not a good game. And 5 is just pure action for the sake of action. Which is not bad, right? If you're trying to make like a summer blockbuster, it just didn't fit Resident Evil, if that makes sense. So then, 1621, best we've ever had. And then finally, mid-cutscene, mind you, as Leon is bringing Ashley to the laboratory to cure her of the Las Plagas, and then her, in turn, curing him, I was finally able to somewhat get a stable stream going. 16 minutes and 21 seconds. We were in the final stretch. And then, as if like fucking clockwork, as if I should have known it was too good to be true, it fucking crashed. You wanna know how I know? Because then I get a message in all caps. It fucking crashed again. I wasn't using Facecam, thankfully, because, yeah, but I was red in the face. I said, nope, fuck it, I don't care, I got your message, I don't care, I'm restarting it, we're gonna finish this fucking game. This is literally the cutscene leading to the final fucking boss. We're gonna finish this fucking game. So finally, I restarted it on the cutscene where Leon is bringing Ashley to the laboratory, and they're both curing each other. And then I finally fucking got the final cutscene of the game that leads to the final boss. Slaughtered the final boss, because I was at that point just so fucking pissed at the game. I was just ready to be done with it. And not even at the game itself, just the internet connection issues. And then finally, as if some fucking miracle, I actually managed to get through the final boss, the cutscene, the credits, and the post-credit cutscene, all without it crashing. We had officially, finally beaten Resident Evil 4 Remake. What was the next issue? What the fuck are we going to stream next? I couldn't get Threads of Fate to work at the time. We've got it working now. Crash 4, him and I agreed to stream, but once he physically got his copy of it, we later discussed it, and yeah, he decided that he wanted to see me stream it, and I'm like, yeah, I could stream it tomorrow, that's fine. That's why that's the new series. And then my very first thought was, if this is how bad it was to stream today, how bad is this internet issue going to be? I had no idea that I was going to lose. Oh boy, I forgot about this. Brittany. Britt.
Yeah?
I forgot about something.
What?
Do you remember when I was streaming Psychonauts 2, how much footage I lost?
Yeah, you screamed.
Really quick, one last rewind. This goes all the way back to December. One of the last series of the year, I believe, was Psychonauts 2. We finished Psychonauts 1 100%. I'm very proud of that because that fucking luchador level can suck my dick. I hate that level is neon. Okay, question. Let me rephrase that. I don't mind that it's neon. I hate that it looks exactly like the figments everywhere you look, so you don't know what's a figment and what is just a fucking decoration in the goddamn fucking level. That was very evil, game designers. Aesthetically, it was beautiful, though. Like, bravo to the developers. I love that level. It's honestly my favorite level in the game. Rewind to December again for the last time. After Psychonauts 1, we're celebrating. I beat Psychonauts 1, 100%. I never thought I'd actually do that, honestly, because the Figments are a bitch to see in the first one. Psychonauts 2 is surprisingly easier. So we move on to Psychonauts 2. First episode goes fucking swimmingly. Or so I thought. Just to give you an idea how much fucking footage I lost. And I do mean lost, by the way. It's gone. It's just fucking in the ether now. OBS just will sometimes, you know where it says start streaming and then stop streaming when you press it? OBS for some reason kept pressing the stop streaming button on its own. It would just continuously shut off the stream. My internet would be completely fine and it would just go poof. Well, this happened during Psychonauts 2 Part 2. And that's why it's only 39 minutes. Hopefully that kind of puts it into context. Because it was actually a 4.5 hour stream. I was doing a completion run in that stream to get as much as I could at that point to make the mid-game a little bit easier to progress for us. Because we'll have more powers. Unfortunately, about 39 minutes in exactly, the stream crashed. I had no way of knowing this. There was no viewers. It was a dead stream, like was unfortunately very common with the Psychonauts playthrough. I was very sad to see no one really gave a shit about that game. Again, fair enough. It's not your thing. It's not your thing. I get that. About 4 hours later, I get a message from gaming from that 39-minute mark, right, on Discord saying, "Hey, man, sorry your stream crashed." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Your stream crashed." I'm like, "When?" He's like, "Yeah, at about 2:39. I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" I went back to OBS, to do my outro and be like, "Love you, appreciate you, welcome, but love you, appreciate you, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye, guys." Right, my outro, whatever, with the military salute. It's not really military because it's inaccurate. It's on purpose, by the way. I just don't feel like I have a right to do that since I've not been in the military. That's literally the reason why I do it wrong. I go back to OBS and it's dead. It's not even that there's no frames or anything. It's not even that there's no kilobytes per second. It's that the stream didn't even start. It's like I didn't even start recording, which means OBS had turned itself off again. By the way, I still to this day don't know what causes this error, where it will literally shut itself down. It will turn off the stream on its own. And what I'm thinking is it maybe because I was trying to stream in 1080 4K with the internet as shitty as it was, maybe it was just overclocked and I needed to change the settings, because I haven't had that issue since then, knock on fucking wood. When I realized that the 4.5 hours I spent collecting the majority of everything in the game was gone, I almost canceled the trifecta. Thankfully, I actually used my damn maturity instead of acting like a child and decided, hey, I'm just going to do the trifecta for fun, no matter what. This is for the viewers. This isn't for the record. This is to thank you guys for your years of support, commentator, or streamer. Yeah, that's what the trifecta was a thank you to you guys, my community. And dude, I was so fucking heartbroken. Some of the shit I did in that stream, I did first try, that I saw speedrunners have trouble with. I was so on. It just didn't fucking 4.5 hours of gameplay that was really cool just fucking gone in the ether. I was livid. I was, again, seeing fucking red. If you guys are in my Discord, you'll notice I actually made an announcement in it saying that I might be canceling the fucking trifecta. And then I realized I wasn't doing the trifecta this time for the record. I was doing it for the viewers, for the fans, whatever, whichever you prefer to be called. I feel like calling you guys fans is a little conceited, right? But yeah, I just decided, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna do the trifecta, right? Lo and behold, the trifecta crashed. I'm not joking when I say this, a total of 17 fucking times the entire 3 games. 17. That's more than Resident Evil 4. Which makes sense, longer, stream, but yeah. As a result, I lost 20 minutes of footage, including the final boss, I believe, of Spyro 1, 15 minutes of footage of Spyro 2, and 30 minutes of footage from Spyro 3 in Fireworks Factory. Not 30, like, I'd say like 25, because it was the revisit as well I missed. So yeah, that was why the trifecta was almost canceled. But going back to January, yeah, that's the exact same issue I was having with Resi 4 Remake. And why Crash 4 crashed like 7 times yesterday. I am sincerely sorry for that. I am doing my best to work with the internet issues I'm having at the moment. But unfortunately, there's not really much I can fucking do. Thankfully, Brittany, the nice lady from Spectrum, came by and, like I said, rewired our apartment, internet-wise. Gave us a whole new cord. Oh yeah, and here's the funny part of this whole thing as to why the internet was shit. Turns out the cord outside that leads into our apartment that connects to the tap where all the internet cords are connected to in the apartment. There were chunks of it missing. Like someone had either taken a hatchet to it or a squirrel had eaten it. And considering we have a neighbor that is a total asshole, I would not be surprised if it was them. But it looked more like squirrel bites, to be honest, so probably just a squirrel. And it turns out that's been the case for months. So when that guy came by in fucking February last year, he never even saw it. Because he never went outside to bother to check because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He made sure that our internet was in range, right, which was cool, but that was it. That didn't really fix much. And so Brittany, being the sweetheart she is, she goes out in the freezing cold. She gets rid of the torn up cord. She puts our cord on a splitter, which it helps. I don't know the specifics of it. Connects it to the tap, and now it's directly connected to the fucking tap. The power is perfectly fine. The modem is reading 98%, right? You'll never get 100%. It's a lot to go into, but essentially the more pressure you put on your network traffic, the less connectivity you're going to have overall because it's just being used up a lot, which is, again, understandable. It's like when you're trying to have multiple people drinking the same cup of water, you're going to have less it's going to come back in dividends when you get that cup finally after everyone else has drank it, kind of thing. So yeah, that is essentially everything that has happened from, I want to say, October to November to December to now. And it's still January. Yay. So, with that in mind, now you're officially caught up. Let me see who's in the chat. I'll be like, hey, you guys, let me see who's in the chat and wants to talk. 420, Moobot, Nightbot. Oh, hey, Chef. How you doing, buddy? Aqua. Stream Elements. Yeah, I know Stream Elements. Oh, my God. So, yeah, basically, 2023 to 2024. The second half of, just recap everything real quick. My childhood pets died. My daughter died. And because she was close to Madison, who she saw as a mother figure, so she just stopped eating and just starved herself to death. Best friend from middle school committed suicide. My mother nearly died again. This time the day before Christmas because her fucking CPAP, the thing that's up her nose providing oxygen to her, tried to drown her. I've never even heard of that before. I guess I can understand how it did so though, because those things turn water into oxygen, which is honestly really fucking cool process. I'll go into it on stream at some point. We got scammed out of $240 to then $290 by DoorDash, which is why my bills are fucked this month. My sister's apartment flooded, and then my apartment flooded because of how bad hers flooded. Hers flooded because of the apartment upstairs, which flooded because of a burst pipe because of the fucking freezing cold. And lastly, internet is still shit. So some things have been solved, not everything has been. I need to go on what happened with Britt. Brittany works at a place I will not ever refer to on stream because she could have coworkers in my audience and I don't want to get her in trouble. I feel like she should be free to vent to me or you guys about her job without scrutinization. And honestly, I just don't want to take the risk. The internet's a big place, right? You never know. I will say she works somewhere. There you go. She works at a place that's 3-hour transit away from us. This is why she uses a bus pass. Unfortunately, the bus system around here in St. Louis, especially in our neck of the woods, is really fucking bad. Why is it 3 hours? It's not actually that far away. It's like maybe a 30-minute drive. But because the bus systems are so fucked, it is a 3-hour transit there and back. Brittany spends 1/4 of her day on a public bus every time she goes to work. Right, Brittany? 3 hours there, 3 hours back.
Something like that, yes.
So you spend 6 hours, so that's a third of your day. That's a fourth of your day spent on a fucking bus.
That's why I have to wake up extra early just to get there in time.
Which it never works. So my sister Crystal, being the sweetheart she is, they work at the same job. She carpools with her, and so she takes her to work sometimes. But unfortunately, life happens. She can't always do that. That's fine, right? We're not upset about that. We're upset about it, just not at her. Just pissed that we're screwed, kind of thing. If that makes sense. Although I can understand why people may think that we're upset with her, because again, when you're angry and you don't specify, the first thing people assume is, oh, you're mad at the person you brought up. It's like, no, Crystal's a sweetheart. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met, if not the nicest. I mean, she's my older sister. Of course she's nice. I say that because my mom's nice too. That's why. Well, can be. Don't piss her off. She is a witch after all. Essentially, my sister Crystal was giving her rides to work. They even talked with their job, which again shall go unnamed out of respect, to make sure that they can form a schedule around getting to work and home. Their job went for it, which was really cool. And then my sister went on vacation, which fucked us for 4 days. And then my sister had to leave work early several times, which fucked us for days. Again, none of this is her fault. This is just really bad timing thing. So because of this, we have to rely on Uber. And I don't know if you guys know how bad Uber is here in Missouri. It's really fucking bad. Brittany and I are spending upwards of almost $1,500 every month on Uber. The amount of shit that could go towards that we need, for instance, a car, a fucking couch, so I can sit in anything other but this goddamn fucking chair, which the boys have turned into their scratching pad. $1,500. 1.5K, I'll just say. Now, I want you to factor this in, right? Our rent is $645. Not bad for a single bedroom in St. Louis. Actually, it's pretty bad from what I heard recently. It raises yearly, that's fine. But yeah, apparently this is a really bad price. That's what Kyla was telling me the other day. She's like, no, you guys are getting ripped off. It's like, hey, we have a home. We don't care. We have a fucking home. That wasn't the case 3 years ago. Brittany's mom got thrown out of her old place because she kept fucking harassing us at our place, causing noise complaints, and just also harassing the neighbors. She even got in my sister's face last year, which that is a very stupid thing to do. My sister is a trained fighter. Black belt in karate, professional taekwondo, I think a little bit of jiu-jitsu. I don't know about that last part though. Yeah, she's who taught me how to fight, so I was able to defend myself when I got jumped in high school. It's not important right now. So because of Uber, we barely have any money for food, which is why you always hear on stream, which I am very sorry that I bring it up so much. I'm going to work on that. That's not really something I need to talk about on stream. I just try to be transparent with you guys, but I need to learn this like there's a filter that I need to apply. It's okay to talk about something a little bit, right, but don't dwell on it kind of thing. That's why we're always struggling for food. Even with the food stamps, we maybe have guaranteed a month, maybe, what is it, like 4 or 5 nights, Britt, at the most now?
Yeah.
4 or 5 nights of dinner. By the way, that's without breakfast and lunch. We don't ever have anything planned for breakfast and lunch. That's why whenever I get like bacon and eggs, you're damn right I'm going to take a picture of it. That shit's delicious. Plus, I'm a chef, so anytime I get to take the picture of a dish I actually did well on, of course I'm going to be happy about it. So yeah, that's why we're always struggling on food. 1,500, and then so that's why we've resorted to DoorDash. My sister can't consistently take us to the store. Not her fault. Life is just working out that way. We understand that, and we're not taking it personally towards her specifically. Just pissed that we have to rely on the availability of others so that we can survive. Which, again, doesn't sound bad in theory, right? Because if you're referring to a doctor, obviously you need to refer to, their availability. But when it's to get groceries to live, it's kind of messed up. Which again all traces back to Britt's mom taking our only vehicle, just as a punishment for Britt not wanting to be essentially her bitch. And I mean that entirely. Her mom is fucking cruel. She is possibly the worst human being I have ever met. You know, other than my ex before Britt, obviously. So, yeah, so rent is $645. We pay over $100 for internet. We pay over $100 for electric, and we pay almost $100 for gas. So that is $900. And you think, okay, then you should still have money left over, right? No. Because Britt makes less than me. I make about $800, something like that, with SSI and disability, which I only get because I've been illegally fired 4 times and no one will fucking hire me because of it. Which is, again, why I started streaming in the first place. Was just to vent my frustrations in terms of, in the form of gameplay, as well as just because I enjoy making content for you guys. Which has now become the main reason I stream, is because I like hanging out with you guys. I don't like being alone, and honestly, our community is really fucking friendly and very supportive, and I'm very fucking grateful for that. I don't want to say blessed, but, oh yeah, I'm blessed, I guess. I don't feel like I'm okay to say that when I'm not religious, yeah, whatever. But yeah, so essentially that was all fine and dandy. Uber, of course, being a fucking butt fuck every time we have to use it. Especially when the other day Brittany had to take the bus, and the bus driver literally pulled over at a Church's Chicken, left everyone in the bus. It was just Britt and like a few other people. It was late at night, and keep in mind, again, St. Louis is the most dangerous city in the world right now. We beat Detroit, Michigan. That's saying something. I've been to Detroit. The people there are nice. The city itself is a very mixed bag. So yeah. All that explained now, I can go back to why her job is now the plague of mankind to me. So, anyone who's ever worked in retail, anyone who's ever worked at any job, knows that there is a policy. You have to be there on time. There's something called a grace period, and if you reach that grace period, you won't get penalized, right? There's also the 3 strike system. Brittany's already had 2 strikes written up against her. She got the 3rd one yesterday, I think. Was that the 3rd strike? So there's 3 strikes, and then there's a final. And the fucked up thing about this is, none of her write-ups were her fault. And I know that sounds like I'm making excuses, but you tell me how this sounds to you. Uber never gets her to work on time, no matter how early she calls it. The buses are always so unpredictable, she almost never makes it to work in general. And the only time she ever actually can make it work on time is when she gets a ride from Crystal, my sister. Like I said, not excuses. Legitimately getting fucked. And the sad thing is, she's still being penalized for it. She's still being punished for it. In fact, everybody at their job is. Brittany has a friend there who's getting penalized for the same thing.
Her bus train route is worse than mine.
Worse than 3 hours? How long?
The thing is, I think hers is 2 hours. Actually, technically, it's 4 hours because she takes the train, she takes the bus, then she has to walk an extra hour just to get back home.
That poor fucking woman. Isn't she like your age too?
No, I think she's a bit younger than me.
Oh, that poor kid. Wait, how young are we talking? Are we talking my age?
No, I think she's in her early 20s.
Okay, I was like, don't have a teenager doing that, please. It's all okay. I'm just gonna put this out there. I remember being a teenager. I don't wish that on anybody. It is hell.
I don't think teens should work in general, at least not yet. Just focus
18.
on your education.
18. When you graduate from high school, I feel like that would be the time you should be legally allowed to work. Before then, I don't even think it's necessary. But again, I think that varies from state to state because, you know, there's a bunch of different factors in it.
Yeah, a friend of ours worked since he was 15, which I felt he shouldn't have to, but given
Rest in peace to his fucking heart. Goddamn. They also work 48 hours a week as artists and animators, so, or comic makers, and I'm just like
80 hours.
80 hours, yeah.
Even they've realized they push themselves.
Sorry for interrupting, by the way. I'm still working on that. So back to I almost said the job's name by accident. Oops. I've actually said it on stream by accident once. Your job. I've said it on stream once by accident, and if I can find that stream, I'm erasing it from the internet just to avoid you getting in trouble. So essentially, this is why we hate a job that shall go unnamed. She got threatened yesterday by one of the managers, who we will call C. Because I'm not even going to say the bitch's name, because I feel like even that will get her in trouble. And no, it's not Crystal. I don't think Crystal's a manager, but no, Crystal is also pissed at this person. And basically it's that she can't call off anymore or she will be fired. It's not that there's a meeting or there's a final. No, it's that she will be fucking fired.
That's if I call off again consistently.
Which, by the way, is illegal. Crystal informed me of that yesterday. That is a scare tactic, and that is highly fucking illegal.
Yeah.
If she didn't even mention the final, she just committed a crime. To explain, yeah, you cannot legally threaten an employee with firing if you have no liable reason. Which is kind of weird, because our state did actually vote for people to be fired for no reason. But you know what? I'm just glad it's not happening to Brit and Crystal. Fair enough.
I just have to avoid calling off for the next few
But
months.
here's the fucked up thing about that. Remember what I just said about Uber and the bus? Because of that issue, she's had to call off 3 times this month for the first time since she's worked there, going on 2 years. It's not a matter of if she ever calls off again and that is the day she's fired. It's a matter of fucking when. And the worst part is, there's not a goddamn thing we can do differently. We are fucked 6 ways from Sunday, again, because of something completely out of our control, again. It's like dealing with her mom all over again. I do want to point out you are nothing like her. You are an incredible fucking human being, and I feel so bad that she made you feel like you should have been responsible for her actions. She's a grown-ass woman. She's responsible for her actions, and I do not hold anything she did against you. Okay, clarify. I don't hold anything she did to us and and our family against you. I hold her responsible, not you, okay? I just wish my family would understand that as well. Yeah, a lot of my family doesn't like Brittany because they blame her for her mother's actions. Because like, oh, you just tell her to fuck off. It's like, guys, do you realize how scary a narcissistic abuser with physically abusive tendencies can be? Doesn't matter the age range. That shit's terrifying. She did kill Seven, after all. Yeah. So yeah, that's the situation we're at right now. That's why I've been staying to myself. That's also why I said a certain place can burn in hell in my Discord status the other day, which I really shouldn't have because now that business name is on the internet. In the Discord, I'm an idiot. Hopefully no one fucking says something. God damn it. But yeah, there you go. Now you're caught up on everything that's happened. There will be no streams for the time being until this internet thing is fixed. I've been told that maintenance by Brittany herself, again, not my wife, Charter Brittany, that in just a few days it should be handled by maintenance, and that should fix the issue completely. That we found the source. Now it's just a matter of nipping it in the bud. So yeah, it's been already a very long year, and it's only the first month. It's made most days feel so much longer than they actually are. Which, on days like this, where Britt has off, I don't mind long days, because it means I have more time with my wife. But, on you know, when it's stress-filled, that makes it a little more unbearable. Although when Britt's home, she makes everything better, honestly. No matter how stressful things get, honestly, and I'm not even saying this to be mushy, I mean this. No matter how stressed out I get, whenever I think of Britt's smile, I instantly cheer up. Because I'm like, that's my wife. That's the love of my life. That's my baby. And I'm just instantly filled with joy, like, yay, wifey. Like, no matter how stressed out I get during the day, like if she's at work or something, my first thought is always, wifey's coming home. You know, I get to hang out with her, I get to spend time with her, we get to snuggle and watch Naruto. Which, by the way, the original Naruto surprisingly holds up really well, literally 30 years later. Wait. Yeah, 30 years. Manga started in the 90s, the anime started in the 2000s. But, yeah, I told you it was a lot to unpack. From childhood pets dying, to my mother almost dying, again, that poor woman can't catch a break, my sister's apartment flooding, to now my sister and my wife's job basically pulling what every job is doing, unfortunately, where they are punishing employees for things that are completely out of their control.
Yeah, they're not gonna let this person take off work just for a procedure.
Yeah.
She needs surgery, and she was trying to request off for it, but they wouldn't let her because she hasn't worked there long enough.
That's the other thing. The fact that you have to work there a certain amount of time in order to be able to take off to get a fucking surgery is kind of fucking stupid. I keep telling people it's not that people don't want to work. That's never been the case. I mean, obviously there's some people that are legitimately lazy, right? It's more so, when it comes to the grand scheme of things, it's more so that all of these jobs are hiring, but it doesn't mean they will hire you specifically. If you don't have a college degree of the highest, tier, or a fucking connection to the boss themselves or their kid, you're not going to get the job. 9 times out of 10. And there's also a really scummy business practice that's going on now where businesses that are dying but are like mega corporations like Target, Walmart, and all that are faking that they're expanding, right, by offering jobs, by saying help wanted. But when you actually start to work there, they force you to work the job of 3 or 4 people because their business is already 1 foot in the grave. One such business, I believe, is the Schnucks down on Olive, where I used to, next to where I used to live. Is that they're hiring people, but they're doing it under false pretenses. Like, you apply for one job, but you end up working the job of 3 or 4 people at the same time. Which, again, I get it. People think I'm just bitching, but actually do these things and then tell me I'm being dramatic. I worked at Schnucks. I worked at Blueberry Hill. I worked at the Greek Kitchen. I worked at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, hence the fucking permanent scar I have on my finger, which is one of the reasons I wear this ring. I gotta tell you, restaurants are all the same. It doesn't matter if it's a fast food joint or a 5-star restaurant. If you have a mental illness, it is a death sentence in this country when trying to find permanent employment. That's why, unfortunately, as much as I don't like asking anything as far as money, hence why, even because, as you guys know, I've had to ask Thomas for assistance financially for a couple of years now, which, yes, I am happy to report we are actively paying him back, and we are not asking for anything more, no matter how desperate we get, because we want to pay back in full. I don't want to be that friend that's like, hey, just give me money, you know what I mean? Because everybody's struggling, and I know that. In fact, and here's the irony of it. Half the time he would assist us financially, we never asked. He just noticed we were struggling and is like, here. I'm like, why are you doing this? And he's like, because you would do the same for me. And it's like, yes, that's because you're my closest and oldest friend. That doesn't change the fact that you're setting yourself back. Like, I literally made him promise whenever he would send me money that I made him promise that he wasn't setting himself back to do so. That it was just money he had extra or money he didn't need. And that I could immediately pay him back a few days later and it never went anywhere, right? It turns out he lied to me about that. And he screwed over his own credit. And, which is why we're putting in more effort to pay him back, even though it's kind of setting us back. But, fuck it, we're trying to help. So we completely stopped asking, no matter emergency or whatever. And we've been paying him back like 100, 130 every single month to try and help pay him back and everything. And then we found out like a week later that he was also giving money to like hundreds of other people at the same time. And yet he had given the impression that we were that we were the only ones getting assistance from him. It's like, dude, that's not fair. We're still going to pay you back, but you got to let us know this. We were single-handedly responsible for your bad credit, which now that makes sense. He only ever helped us like 2 or 3 times, like every few months. So yeah, it makes sense that it wasn't just us. So yeah, we're paying him back actively. My brother Sean is looking for a car for us. That's not going well. His vehicles all just broke down. His best friend's vehicle broke down, and even though he's a professional mechanic, even he can't explain what the fuck is going on. So yeah, it's just, how are we doing now? We're fucking scared. What can we do about it? Not a damn thing. which honestly just feels like a repeat of 4 years ago when we got kicked out of our old place, and there was nothing we could fucking do about it. And we spent three going on 3 years of our lives here together. With this has been officially the first year of our technical marriage. We say technicals because we haven't done the courthouse thing, and we're hoping to do that later this year. So we're just fucking terrified, honestly. We've lost everything before, and we don't want to go through that again. So we're just trying to figure out a plan to avoid that, essentially, and that is not the easiest thing these days. As for stream updates, like I said, hopefully Wednesday streams will return. That's the idea, at least. But but we don't know but I don't know for sure yet because I have no estimate on the exact day with the maintenance. It just says a few days, which I would assume Wednesday, maybe Tuesday. Excuse me. But yeah, that is everything that has happened from the second half of 2023 to literally just the other day. Like I said, it's been a wild ride already, but we're staying optimistic, and we're scared shitless, don't get me wrong, but we're trying to stay positive because it's literally all we have is just to stay positive. Like, my family's struggling too. For anyone who's wondering why we don't just ask the family for assistance, my family's struggling hard, especially my parents. Because of BLM's riots in St. Louis, especially in the Loop, my parents might have to move because the property value has completely gone down. So they're pretty much fucked housing-wise. And they just celebrated their 31st anniversary, so... God damn, that's sad. But, yeah, I believe that's pretty much everything. Sorry it's a little bit long-winded. There was just a lot to go over. So, essentially... Yeah, lots of death. Scary flood. I'm just gonna say scary water because it actually gave me a temporary phobia of water for a few days. Like, I still took baths and showers. It just didn't feel comfortable for like a few days after that because I was so waterlogged that I was literally ready to crash. Oy. Our daughter died. My aunt just died. Best friend from middle school died. Yeah, it's just a lot to unpack, but we'll get through it. We always figure this out. That's the mindset I'm going through all of this with, is that we always get through it, and we just gotta stay strong and keep moving forward. It's the only thing we have left. Like, we have a roof over our heads. We have two beautiful baby boys who are sleeping on my jacket, whatever. We have my family that absolutely adores us. And we have each other. So yeah. Hi. You okay?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little better since I got the cooking out of the way.
Good. Can I start my hamburger helper?
Just about.
We're good on food for a little bit.
I'll make the salad last, but I'm trying to make what I can for
Is the sausage even thawed out yet?
It's starting to thaw.
Okay. Will it be done like 8?
I guess right now it's 6:23.
Yeah, we can start Naruto any time. By the way, I'm wrapping this up. I was just giving them an update. Did I give any information away I wasn't supposed to, or am I good?
You're fine, but yeah,
even the St. Louis thing. That's fine.
Yeah, it's like I said, I've reached my breaking point.
And,
I'm trying to quit.
And this may just be my anxiety, but I am doubling back and again reminding people. We have no ill will towards my older sister. In fact, she's like an angel to us at the moment. She has been a huge help to us through everything we've been through. She is an awesome sister to me. We are, however, worried about her. Nothing too serious. It's just she's been through a lot herself, honestly. And with her girlfriend coming out of surgery, she's, of course, like, honestly anxious, wanting to make sure she's okay, giving her everything she needs. She's a damn good partner to her girlfriend. I don't know if I could say her girlfriend's name. Okay. ever since the whole Alex thing that you guys know about, the incident with that bullshit, and me trying to help out a viewer of hers that was suicidal and essentially being stabbed in the back by her in the process, I've been very obsessively aware of like consent, of what I have permission to say, what I don't have permission to say, filter of what can be said, right? So that's why I kind of double back on myself a little while.
Give me 1 second, Katie.
You want dinner?
Yep.
Bring the boy.
Oh, that's Shadow.
Yeah.
Hi, Shadow. That's the big baby. He's the fat ass baby. No, he's not fat. He's poofy. Remember? We gave him a bath, and he was kind of skinny actually. Not scrawny, just normal weight.
Yeah, he's not.
His Peruvian pouch is huge though. It's okay. So really quick, Peruvian pouch is below their belly. It's that little pouch